CRIMEZ. CRIMEZ. CRIMEZ.
I said he pull crime, can't compete with your crime, sleeping on the floor, crime, can't compete with your crime. Said he pull crime, can't compete with your crime, sleeping on the floor, crime, can't compete with your crime. Said he pull crime, can't compete with your crime, sleeping on the floor, crime, can't compete with your crime. Said he pull crime, can't compete with your crime, sleeping on the floor, crime, can't compete with your crime.
Hey, my nigga, I ain't hating, and my nigga, I ain't lazy, but I know everything that they got come from slaves. So why you tryna give me occupation? My nigga, I ain't hating, and my nigga, I ain't lazy, but I know hoagies and some cold-blooded killers, rapes and thieves. So why should I be patient?
I said he pull crime, can't compete with your crime, sleeping on the floor, crime, can't compete with your crime. Said he pull crime, can't compete with your crime, sleeping on the floor, crime, can't compete with your crime. Said he pull crime, can't compete with your crime, sleeping on the floor, crime, can't compete with your crime. Said he pull crime, can't compete with your crime, sleeping on the floor, crime, can't compete with your crime.
Hey, my nigga, I ain't hating, and my nigga, I ain't lazy, but I know everything that they got come from slaves. So why you tryna give me occupation? My nigga, I ain't hating, and my nigga, I ain't lazy, but I know hoagies and some cold-blooded killers, rapes and thieves. So why should I be patient? I feel like Babylon and Generation P8 with clean sense, uncommon. Can you see straight? Freeze frames by the blockchain, the deep state, deep fake DNA. I'm mobbing with the think tank. We on the block with the guards where the beats done. Go makes it loud for a law, get your beat stung. Freeze frame, make it hard for bombers roll through. That hating energy get barbecue beef bump. You work a third of the day to get the shot.
motherfucking ass down. What that motherfucking dope at? Fuck, nigga.
Poor crime, can't compete with your crime. Sleeping on the floor, crime, can't compete with your crime. Said he poor crime, can't compete with your crime. Sleeping on the floor, crime, can't compete with your crime. Said he poor crime, can't compete with your crime. Sleeping on the floor, crime, can't compete with your crime. Said he poor crime, can't compete with your crime. Sleeping on the floor, crime, can't compete with your crime.
Hey, my nigga, I ain't hating. And my nigga, I ain't lazy. But I know everything that they got come from slaves. So why you tryna give me occupation? My nigga, I ain't hating. Nah. And my nigga, I ain't lazy. But I know hoagies and some cold-blooded killers. Rape and thieves. So why should I be patient?
I said he poor crime, cold crime, cold crime, slow crime, slow crime, cold crime, cold crime. Said he poor crime, cold crime, cold crime, slow crime, slow crime, cold crime, cold crime. Said he poor crime, cold crime, cold crime, slow crime, slow crime, cold crime, cold crime. Said he poor crime, cold crime, cold crime, slow crime, slow crime, cold crime, cold crime. Hey, my nigga, I ain't hating. And my nigga, I ain't lazy. But I know everything that they got come from slaves. So why you tryna get me occupation? My nigga, I ain't hating. Nah. And my nigga, I ain't lazy. But I know hoagies and some cold-blooded killers. Rape and thieves. So why should I be patient?
Testing, 1, 2, 3. Is this mic on? Is this mic on? You got the right beat, but is it the right song? Niggas out there in the industry keep calling me back, but calling is cap. You wanna walk around and just take photo ops, not giving interviews, acting like you the hardest? They trying to make me the target because they don't wanna shop at Target. But look in the mirror and ask yourself, on an Indian graveyard, is that where you bought your home? But you the one that's still shopping at AutoZone. Even as a baby, many of you was hypocrites, begging for your mother's love. But think about the sins of your mother, because she was still using Dove. You dumb millennial niggas, all you want to do is point the finger at me, and all you doing is dropping zingers and tweets. Then you spread lies and talking about bringing up beef. You can never compare none to Young, and remember, J. Cole is just a homeless version of me. I'm like, hold it up. It doesn't matter who you holding up. Y'all better listen to Rosenberg. The big three, it's just me split into three. And I don't even need to flex. Let me keep it calm, keep your bombs. And I don't even speak to flex. I was the one that stepped in the game, and gave you that hard knock shit. Or do you want me to spit the 10 commandments? I can get on that dot shit. I've been dropping hits like Drizzy, but I can still get on that thought shit. Or do you want me to keep it peaceful and say that we equal? I can get on that J. Cole dirty sock shit. There's no nigga past, present, or future that can outdo Hov. Hunchback old niggas acting like they outgrew Hov. I don't even know what you're talking about. All I can see is that your teeth keep falling out. Still roaming around with no slow security. Why you focus on me? MAGA has your social security. Anyway, just leaving it right there for a lot of you dumb niggas out there talking about who's this, who's that, what's next, but you're still on X. You're still typing. Data centers. Go ahead and hate us niggas. Bleak was right. I don't owe y'all niggas nothing. Like Pharrell said, I'm a fat bear on a bicycle with an army helmet. It's time for war. You still using Amazon. Some of you all still have your lease that's signed on property where dead Indians lie. I mean, you know, it's just what it is in America. We're all hypocrites. None of y'all are greater than I. You gotta ask yourself, where's your water coming from? You gotta ask yourself, where was that phone made? You gotta ask yourself, where did that laptop come from? You can't judge me. It's like Pac said, only God can judge me. But he was a hypocrite too. But you love that. He fucked Madonna, and I hit it too. Y'all can keep hating all y'all want, niggas. What can I tell you? Oh yeah, by the way, cocksuckers, Michael Jackson still ain't have a Beychella. You niggas need to understand, I've been a god. Y'all hating. Even Rosenberg got back in line, and that's after I talked about the synagogue of Satan. So come on. The rest of y'all black niggas, get it together. I'm out.
Warning: the Federal Communications Commission has determined the following content to to be emotionally harmful. Snowflakes should not view this content under any circumstances, even if supervised by a G.I. Joe, Navy SEALs, Army vet, or someone with good common sense. The views and opinions expressed, including the depictions of persons of color, corrupt politicians, white people with or without a tan, haters who have yet to brush their teeth typing angrily in the comment section with hot breath syndrome, do not reflect any official policy or position of the U.S. government. This program contains graphic language, dark comedy, unique intelligence, creativity, a high credit score, and high blood pressure when triggered. This program has also been accused of racism, violence, misogyny, mansogyny, feminism, MGTOWism, defacement of celebrities, and of course, being a bully. Welcome to Thought Crimes.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Thought Crimes. This is your girl, Sincere, and I'm here with...
Yo, what's up, everybody? Good morning. This is your man, P Solo. Good morning. Back in the building once again, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be getting into... Well, first of all, how's everybody doing, too, in the chat? All right? You guys... y'all enjoyed the Mr. Z freestyle. That is his name, too, by the way. He does have an official name. Yeah. I don't know who y'all think he is, but he goes by Mr. Z. That's Mr. Z-E-E. That is Mr. Z.
And, he cooked everyone, saying, everybody on YouTube and is owned by Google, and that we didn't know that. He cooked everyone on X, as if we all don't know that the South African warlord himself, Elon Musk, is over there. Right. And, Mr. Z was letting everybody, know we all hypocrites.
Yeah, I mean, y'all like Mr. Z? Y'all let me know. Do y'all like Mr. Z? Because he'll be back, if you want him to, because he has a lot of things to educate Black America about, too, by the way. And again, like Sam brought up with, South African warlord Elon Musk, a part-time Incan chief, too, by the way. You guys know that, right? He's a part-time Incan chief.
Also, shout out to OG, a lady. She said she was in the hospital. I want everyone to make sure they put their prayers towards her, pray for her.
Blessings to her.
And then also one of the most hardworking people in this world, period. Yes. Brandy Kane is in the building.
Brandy Kane, what you doing? Brandy Kane, what are you doing, Brandy Kane? You got all the cartels DMing us on Instagram. Every time I go on Instagram, it's a new cartel member telling me about Brandy Kane.
Thought Crimes? Like, is this what y'all about, man?
I said, hold on, Shot. I never seen you before. BK, you got all types of people messaging us and telling us about you. I said, first of all, I don't know who you are. So, yes, absolutely. So you guys enjoy Mr. Z? Yeah, he'll definitely be back every now and then periodically to, again, chastise you all on your hypocrisy. Spain, you guys know Black people are very hypocritical.
Spain won the World Cup. Shout out to them. They... are getting a lot of love around the world, especially since many of their players has been pro the people of Palestine and the people of Gaza, the Gaza Strip. Right, so, a lot of love is being shown around the world to them.
Yes. Mr. Lamine Yamal, he got busy, y'all, and he has an incredible backstory. It is perfect. It is ripe with, a grandmother fleeing Morocco, coming to the country with her bare hands and getting on board to work in the camps and everything, having a son, then he gets with the mother, and then on top of that, then the son comes out and become an all-star and gets to dethrone Messi in the process. Man, I saw Messi on the side was crying. I says, Messi, just take a sip of yerba mate. Yerba mate.
Well, on top of that, people were claiming that, they were cheating. And they just didn't like, even also, the Argentine football team, they embarrassed themselves getting into a fist fight with other players when they weren't getting their way. Oh. Right. And also,
Well, that's what happens when Caitlin Clark is the face of the league for FIFA. Am I wrong?
Yeah, a lot.
He's face of the league.
You know, a lot of people also see a lot of the players from Barcelona as, you know, again, just anti-establishment for a lot of the things that they were pushing for politically,
Yeah.
including the leader of Spain, him, you know, going up against Trump and, you know, saying he stands with the Palestinian people, even though, you know, the Trump administration wasn't too happy about that.
And he's Muslim too. You got to keep that in mind. That's again, I know people have their talks here, you know, locally. I mean, you may have your parishioners arguing, you know, Baptist church versus Baptist church, but contrary to popular belief, you know, a lot of people can still get ridiculed for being, especially a dark-skinned Muslim, publicly.
Oh, Yamal,
globally.
Yeah, his mother is a dark-skinned black woman.
Yeah, so,
you know, and he's only, you know, he's very young.
I think he's 19.
19 years of
19.
age, very young, and you know, he shows a lot of pride and love for
Y'all saw that?
his background.
Messi was holding that L, and as he was going down, he looked up. He said, "Say, man, I birthed you." Yeah, so, you know, it's causing, I mean, yeah, there's going to be some kickback, but overall, you know, Yamal is seen as a hometown hero. So, I mean, I know, contrary to popular belief of what they make the whole thing here, like in America, and, you know, there's more people speaking out, you know, about what's been going on in Gaza, and, you know, people are kind of like, all right, Israel, that's enough. What are we doing here? And so, you know, the same thing can be said about Lamine's presence publicly, globally, that is.
In Argentina, people have to stop just calling it erasure. Like with black people,
yes,
the words keep changing. No, it's genocide.
It's genocide.
Argentina committed genocide and killed off the majority of its black population.
I don't take no yerba mate from Argentina.
He doesn't.
I know. I'm all right.
And also, you know, people was trying to say Messi was supposed to be better than Pele. But you think about that, and now all the Brazilians say you will never be him.
No,
you will
put some respect on Pele's name. Rest in peace to Pele.
He never lost a World Cup.
Yeah, come on.
He never lost. They said what now? The Brazilians out there say what? You will never be us.
Yeah, I'm the Mike Jordan of recording. He no better than that. I don't know where they was going with all of that. And listen, I like Messi. I'm not trying to be funny. I mean, as far as like what he's been publicly revered as, you know, but outside of that, you know, I think they can tone it down a little bit, and I'm glad to see. I'm glad to see Lamine out here on deck and doing what he's doing, and I think he has a wonderful, beautiful story, and it looks like he has a promising career. We'll see if he's going to be able to make it a dynasty too, you know, because again, football, international football is not an easy sport. You know, I saw Dana White, out of shape, bad build ass, one time say that was an easy sport. I said if that was the case, you would have been growing hair.
Yeah, it's not an easy sport. You have to have good conditioning, and you know. Yes, Omega. Yes, absolutely. They wanted him to be the icon legend of all time. You know how, like, no matter, even if people's stats are better than Muhammad Ali, there will never be somebody who is better than Muhammad Ali.
Right.
When we're talking about boxing, he will always be the face of it and the icon of boxing, because he was a hero on in the boxing ring, but also out of it. And Pele, you know, the icon, legend, face of football.
Yes.
You know, some people wanted it to be other people, but fell short.
Hey,
so
he's dark skinned. Dark skinned and nappy hair. All right. You know, he won 3 cups, and he is the only player, I believe, in soccer history to ever achieve something of that nature. I think Messi was able to get his, what was it, a couple years ago? And that was a controversial victory too, by the way. You know, I saw what they were doing. I was like, I'm checking out. But yeah, as y'all say, man, you know, Pele, you know, listen, y'all got to go and accept it. Whether they're called the Moors, Black Americans, Africans, dark-skinned Cubans. I mean, come on now. When that skin get popping, man, they get some games in straight. So I like the story. I'm enjoying it. And overall, you know, I didn't see all of the Argentinians take it, you know, like a champ, you know. I think
they
so.
had tantrums.
Yeah, they had tantrums. They were kind of saying things on the side and beaches, you know, that type of stuff. And I was like, whatever, you know. But anyway, I'm all happy for it. I think it's wonderful. It was a glorious event for the most part. Of course, the World Cup does not come without its challenges.
Trump.
Trump.
The players had to scoot so we could take the picture.
Yeah.
Trump is wow, bro. Like,
I'm not gonna lie. When I saw Trump over there, I said, "How did he get over there?"
You saw they had to try to usher him to the side, like, bro, move.
Yeah. You know what the thing about Trump?
God, he's such an attention whore.
We got to be honest. Trump is a super fan of everything.
He's a super fan of attention.
Yeah, he's a super fan.
When Donnie was popular, he like, I want a photo op, which you're fine. Yeah. We, same country. Y'all have to have conversation.
Can we be real soon?
You're the president. He's the mayor.
Yeah.
Of New York City. But but every single fucking situation that has to deal with popularity,
Trump is there.
He's right there.
We got to be honest, man.
Along with his little evil son-in-law, Jared Kushner, behind the scenes in the shadows.
Trump is an IG girl. I mean, we got to be real about that. I think he's the most powerful IG girl we've ever seen.
He's an IG girl.
You saw you smiling in front of Ma'am Donnie's face? It's just so cute, isn't he?
No, that's actually a really good way to put it in perspective. He is an IG girl.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. When I saw him there, I said, "Damn, how does he sleep in the White House and he's over there?"
All right. Speaking of politics, you said Bill Maher is for J.D. Vance.
Yes. The most unwittingly, unfunniest, low-rated, low-brow comedian, Bill Maher. And if you guys have, been listening to this channel, you guys know I make no apologies for my dislike of the existence and comedy of somebody like Bill Maher.
Also, disclaimer, allegedly, Bill Maher sleeps with a lot of prostitutes. We'll put the audio on our Patreon for y'all to hear.
Yes.
Some years ago, a woman came out and talked about that, he has a middleman who sometimes get the ladies for him.
Right.
And then he also had a very close relationship with Hugh Hefner that, a lot of people got mad at us when we exposed Hugh Hefner, but I don't care. He did have sexual assault and trafficking allegations, sex trafficking allegations. And
what are they talking about?
I think the French edition of Playboy Bunny, I double check on that. But going back to Bill Maher being for J.D. Vance, I'm not surprised. What's your overall thought of why he's done it?
Hey, well, first of all, I think Bill Maher, let me see if I can phrase this without going into a outright roast, okay?
If you go into an outright roast, we all are here for it. Shit, we like you roasting Prince. Go ahead, do your thing.
I don't like anything about Bill Maher. I don't like his face. I don't like his voice. I don't like his haircut. I don't like his Asian lesbian face. Okay? There's nothing I like about Bill Maher. Never did. I felt like he was one of the bad seeds. Like, how like there's Superman, and then, they kind of had like weird clones of him, of course, including Bizarro, but they do the different story arcs for Bizarro. Sometimes it's just that Bizarro's from a planet of Bizarros or people that act like him, and then sometimes they say like he's a deformed clone.
No, Superman has so many different versions of him, like Homelander and stuff. Like people who you obviously know read the comic books and then did their own thing with it.
I feel like Bill Maher is the Bizarro version of George Carlin. That's what I feel. I think, some of his people off of his branch or that were influenced by him, of course, you can throw in aspects of Dave Chappelle, but Dave Chappelle is influenced by other comedians. Then there's Jon Stewart, who borrowed a lot from the energy of George Carlin. But Bill Maher had always positioned himself as this thinking man's comedian that, he's an old fart that can relate to the youth.
He's the smartest guy in the room. He tries to do that a bit as well.
He's not. He's about as annoying as a hanging snot tear hanging from somebody's nose while they're talking to you.
Vance, I guess, needed this cosign because there are a lot of people who are pro-Israel that are upset with him. They felt during the Joe Rogan conversation and interview that he wasn't pro-Israel enough, even though he did have pro-Israel talking points. They feel he was trying to waver a bit, trying to keep voters who have an issue with Israel being put first when it comes to American issues while also trying to still keep that financial base of pro-Israel donors.
Well, that is something the white millennial politicians don't do that well as much as the crooked white Gen X politicians. You know, they know how to play the middle ground when convenient. Somebody, as a Lincoln Park fan, as J.D. Vance, don't know how to do that.
Well, he's not the only one. Did you see Pete? He had the emo goth look.
Pete Hexet?
In high school, yes.
Is Pete Hexet a millennial?
Let me go look.
He got an old face, kind of like Bill Cosby.
I mean, the alcohol. You drink a lot, you know.
Yeah.
Let me go look.
Y'all seen Pete? He got them Bobby Brown jaws. Y'all saw them jaws twitching one time. He walked in front of the camera. I said, boy, this whole administration is on something.
Let me go look up his age. Hold on.
Maher Slams Democrat says he's open. And again, y'all know how we feel about the whole corporate Democrat establishment. But I always tell you guys, you got to watch out for people like Bill Maher all the way down to Anna.
He's 46, so he missed it. He missed it by a few years to be a millennial. He's a very young Gen Xer, so he'll be in the category of Kanye, Lupe.
Okay. He probably listens to them.
Nicki Minaj, like that.
Yeah.
He's part of that crew.
Okay, so he's a part of that crowd.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very young Gen Xer.
Okay, then. Yeah, he always got that little boy haircut. Do you guys know that half of these politicians are Nepo babies? Isn't that crazy when you really find out like how they really got going and like most of them are like Nepo babies?
It is crazy in politics. People try and pass things down. It's like, no, you either for the people or not.
Yeah.
You know, this is why, you know, we show a lot of love to Brandy Kane. She put out a lot of work, being for reparations.
Yeah, shouts out to Brandy.
Yeah, shout out to Brandy Kane.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's a lot of people who, like you said, like you holding a position for somebody. Like that doesn't, just because, you know, your father's was in a politician don't mean that you have the chops to be in that position.
Yeah. No. And so in this point in time, like Bill Maher, what he's going to be doing is signaling, you know, that grand pivot. And I told you guys got to really watch out for like a lot of those types of, centrists, progressives, you know, they can always make the switch. And they go through this every generation. I want people to understand it. Like, you know, there's some people that like, they will vote black people out of existence. But back in the day, they used to run with John Lennon and Jimi Hendrix, you know, when they were younger and a little bit more uncouth and liberal, you know, and they were like, yeah, man, I understand
that remind me
the
Alex
black
Jones,
woman's plight and the black man's plight.
When he was blaming black people for stuff and they was calling him racist years ago, he said, I got Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, who said that?
Poster.
Oh, yeah.
Alex Jones on my wall. Like, bitch, what the fuck that got to do with anything, bro?
Acting like that's a Masonic ring for the Underground Railroad. Let me through. Jimmy's face is on the ring. Watchtower. You want me to sing the lyrics? Hey, Joe, where you going with that gun in your hand?
Yeah, like that type of stuff. Like it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't. No.
And a lot of times, like right now, people want reparations. They want to see policies that represent the American people.
Yes.
Like atrocities that happen here on the soil in the United States should be dealt with. I don't know. It doesn't even make sense that you're putting, you know, Israel first. You have what took place with the indigenous people. You also have the whole situation that took place with Jim Crow and so many other atrocities that happened in the United States to try to just jump man over that to get to Israel's crazy. You know, people are caring about their health care. You know, you see even, you know, leading into the outbreaks and CDC budget cuts. And the CDC, it had a shitty history too because, you know, they got caught historically doing a lot of crazy things to the black population that we'll go into some other time. But we put on our Patreon even a lot of the recalls. You got recalls on shredded cheese. You got recalls on baby formulas. You got, you know, recalls on iceberg lettuce. And recently, Taylor Farms, they came out and said, well, it's not us. The FDA got it wrong. It came with a false positive. And that people are, you know, having diarrhea. People are having diarrhea because of something else. Well, right now, people don't trust the FDA anyway. So people are like, well, y'all going to have to prove it that it wasn't y'all because y'all have had unsafe practices before.
Also, we're going to jump right into that too because I do want to finish this up here saying about Bill Maher, right? And so, yeah, come on, like he's making some sort of grand speech. And the reason why I'm highlighting this because, we have some people in the chat, they kind of vote all different types of ways. And we do have some folks, they typically run with the Saturday Night Live crowd. Y'all know what I mean by that. Those are the people that are, mostly like Democrat, like hardcore Democrat. And so they'll bounce from Saturday Night Live to whatever the show is with Bill Maher on HBO. What is it called? What is it? I can't remember. Y'all know what it is. But anyway.
Real time.
I forget, this show's so sleepy. But anyway, so he says here basically people are kind of like freaking out about Bill Maher saying that, he's giving, J.D. Vance a shout out. So let me play this part here. It's only 50 seconds.
Your vote is up for grabs.
Yes, my vote is.
You told J.D. Vance you're open. Your vote is up for grabs.
Yes, my vote is in play because it can't be Trump running.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not living in communist America. I mean, I know the talking point is that, well, it's not communism, it's socialism. Okay, I've read the quotes from the DSA platform, from their own mouths. Don't tell me I'm not seeing what I am seeing. And DSA, again, they say things like, takeover of key industries, government. That's communism. There is a definition.
By the way, Trump's doing that too.
Of course.
Yeah.
Hold on, y'all. Sid, I want to hear your commentary on this. I'm gonna put this on the screen because I want y'all to hear. I want y'all to see his face when homeboy leans in.
Yeah, I do like it when journalists are journalists, and he said, "Well, that's what Trump is doing." First of all, you already have a rigged system when it comes to institutions. We saw that with GameStop. People were making a lot of money. Regular people were making a lot of money, and Order 666 was called in, and Robinhood had shut it down. And Robinhood had to shut it down if they wanted to survive and still play ball with the elites, right?
Mm-hmm.
We see it happen all the time when institutions change rules because the little guy is starting to get some money and starting to prosper. This is why it's not a free market. If it was a free market, I mean, we wouldn't have the history that we've had in the United States, whether, whole towns being wiped away or areas because of jealousy. Even if you look at what happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Also, if you even look at what happened during the Red Summer, if you look at corporate hit jobs and pieces where they purposely sabotage certain corporations and destroy certain companies based off of competition, but not really being competition, like you're cheating. And this happens all the time in the United States with hyper crony capitalism that takes place. It's not to say that, every system is going to be perfect, but this has gone too far. Like even the people who are smug like Bill Maher talking about, the communists are coming. The communists are coming. And crying also about socialism. It's really crazy how they don't have much to say about what's taking place where the government is completely taking over and making decisions based off of deals. You saw that even with Live Nation, with the U.S. Department of Justice. People were celebrating and all this, saying they had to pay $200 million. Like, oh, they were brought to task. Industry people were lying. They were celebrating because, they still supporting Michael Rapino. So we said, let's dig deeper and talk to people who have actually have open lawsuits towards Live Nation. And we talked to Tommy Dorfman, and he said $200 million is one day of wiping their ass. Is nothing to Live Nation. And then we also saw 40-something states come out and saying that they were suing Live Nation. And we had got the tapes and articles showing that the execs and Michael Rapino were mocking everyday people, saying they were stupid, that they will be paying for concert tickets that are 10 grand, 20 grand, and that it should be even higher, Michael Rapino said. So we saw the everyday person have to come up and fight for themselves, the states, because the U.S. Department, they're making deals. We saw it even with Netflix and Paramount, who's going to get, Warner Brothers and all this other stuff. And we even saw it the first time of the Trump administration, even kicking Kaepernick out of the NFL. Like, you don't have a sitting president has nothing to do with the bargaining rights or somebody contract in the NFL. So we have seen the government constantly overstep their boundaries, push just like being bullies to a lot of different people and demographics.
Yeah, and again, that's what I think is fascinating about the bizarro child of one of the bizarro children of George Carlin, because a lot of them, remember, the only reason I'm bringing up Carlin because people like Maher used to champion, his imagery and say that, they're going to carry on the message and speak, the real in a comedic fashion to the general public. Has to get out of here. So let me run this clip back again so you guys can see Bill Maher's face. I tell you what, man, this guy's just all around terrible, when it comes to just acting, So definitely, that's what I said, definitely an Illuminati baby. Let's go.
You told J.D. Vance you're open, your vote is up for grabs.
Yes, my vote is in play because it can't be Trump running. Mm-hmm. So I'm not living in communist America. I mean, I know the talking point is that, well, it's not communism, it's socialism. Okay, I've read the quotes from the DSA platform, from their own mouths. Don't tell me I'm not seeing what I am seeing. And DSA, again, they say things like, takeover of key industries, government. That's communism. There is a definition.
By the way, Trump's doing that too.
Of course. Yes.
And to a degree that we haven't seen any other president, Democrat or Republican, do.
That's crazy too.
This is Hollywood. I want y'all to understand. This is what Charles Murray was talking about with the Democrats and the Republicans, and when he said behind the scenes, when they're all at their little dinners and, as Bill Maher would say, shindigs. And they all having their vodka, their wine, and some cocaine or popping some perks, got the prostitutes coming off the bus. These are the conversations that they're having.
Well, yeah, and for those who don't know who Charles Murray is, he co-wrote The Bell Curve when The Bell Curve came out and was published and released. A lot of black children lost resources. There were a lot of budget cuts because the Clinton Democrats and the Bush's Republicans, that whole energy, both agreed that black children was dumb because, Charles Murray, who was funded by the think tanks on the left and the right, said so with the bell curve of low IQ, right? So that was used basically as an excuse to cut budgets for education and other things and other resources pertaining to majority black areas. And so Charles Murray, who is a great friend to Bill Maher, Charles Murray went on his show a lot of times, and Bill Maher has always had these connects that were very anti-black while paying for black female prostitutes.
Yeah, so I mean, listen, and again, remember what I told you guys before about, the fans, which are consumers, some people are bright enough to say, hold on, bro, I'm not a fan, I'm a consumer. But a lot of times the fans are the ones that buy into the idea that there's a left and a right when it's more a little bit in the middle on top of like hookers and coke. All right. And that's what you're getting with Bill Maher.
Yeah, most politicians get caught with prostitutes.
Yeah, and we're talking about the men and the women.
And
yeah, so it's not just exclusive to the women.
Andrew
all right?
Drillum.
Right, yeah.
He was caught,
now they're
running
saying
for the governor. He was caught with a male prostitute.
So the new update, now they're saying that, he had nothing in his system, but, some of the drugs allegedly that you take if you were Andrew Drillum pass out of your system within 48 hours. So I understand there were a lot of people that's trying to champion for him, but
I mean, one or two things could be true. Even if he didn't
I'm just letting people know that they can leave the system in 48 hours.
Even if he didn't consume any drugs, I mean, you still had the possession, and you have a history of actually using those drugs.
Well,
so.
some pro-black,
They
centrist.
pro-black for Andrew Gillum?
Yeah, there's some pro-black centrist boule, that are saying that the white man planted it on him to break up the Native Land podcast. Angela Rye Bread was going off about that.
Yeah.
All right.
There are black
seedless rye bread too, by the way. She's seedless.
There are black people who are sabotaged every day.
Yes.
They do not need to sabotage Andrew.
What would be the reason for it?
He has nothing to sabotage anymore. There's no power there. There's nothing going, and that podcast don't mean anything.
Yeah.
So to you, the Boule bird.
Yeah, that's what they were saying. So
Man,
I mean,
a lot of the Boule people, they be so annoying.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because there used to be some of them that used to be really cool, but I would say all of the Boule at this point, it's just trash.
Dude says Gillum is innocent, brother. Okay.
Yeah, probably joke. We'll see.
I don't know. Again, we have free-thinking black folks in our think tank. So there are probably some black people that do believe that Gillum is innocent. Again, I'm not here to indict him. That would be for his conscience, all right? So I have nothing to do with that. I just thought it was a silly situation to get caught with all of those bodybuilding Floridian male prostitutes. All right, so let's go ahead and get into old spooked out Bill Maher here. As you guys can see, look at homeboy leaning into him. He says, Trump is doing it right now. Look at him. Like, do you see this? Look at him. Trump is stressing me out. I have no hair on my head. All right, let's play the rest of this real quick. It's only a few seconds left.
A degree that we haven't seen any other president Democrat or Republican do.
That's crazy too.
He's got a piece of intel. Right. A piece of the AI company.
He treats everything like it's a real estate deal.
Remember now, Bill Maher's jokes are more kitten gloves now. Because he met with Trump. Trump flew him in. He got flued out.
He got flown out, and Trump took him out to dinner.
Yeah.
And he started to go softer on Trump. But even what we saw.
He got flown out, and then he got flued out, as B. Moore says. And, ever since then, he's been boxing Trump in the joke department with kitten gloves.
Well, and also it pertains to even what happened with Anthropic.
Yes.
They had one disagreement with him.
Right.
Trump, Pete, we need to get rid of them. They tried to replace Anthropic with OpenAI, but Sam Altman is dumb.
He sucks.
He's dumb.
He sucks. Go ahead, Sam.
And most of OpenAI is just thieving. You saw what happened when it came to Apple and OpenAI, right? Apple suing OpenAI, saying trade secrets were stolen by Sam Altman and members of OpenAI. So, just to say how stupid the Trump administration is would just be redundant, but it still keeps needing to be said.
It's like something out of Police Academy.
Yes,
it's something. National Lampoons.
But that's his era, though.
That is his era. Chevy Chase.
Yeah.
Chevy Chase also was a racist. Y'all know that, right? Most of the comedians that worked with Chevy Chase, the black ones, they liked him growing up. Whatever. But when they worked with Chevy Chase, they say he was a racist. So I think that fits in. To your point, saying about that era, and also that's Bill Maher's era too. All right, I'm gonna play this last little clip, and then we're gonna continue this thing going.
Democrats are cowardly.
Yeah.
They're cowardly. Their party is. Democrats are cowardly.
Yeah.
They're cowardly. Their party is being taken over now by, every day I hear about a new, very radical. I feel very good about, 10 whenever years ago, I did lose fans because, I wasn't going to go along with some of this crazy stuff on the left too. I didn't change really on what I thought about the right, but I can't sit and just not notice stuff, which people seem to want to do because it's all about my team or your team. But there's some crazy stuff, when we're cheering for the Intifada.
Yeah.
That's your fault. You said you was carrying on George Colton's legacy.
Yeah, Carlin, yeah.
I mean, Carlin, thank
Yeah,
you.
there you
And
go.
Carlin was considered to be a radical to a lot of people. So, I mean, you know, you didn't pick a comedian that wasn't radical in their comedy. You know, if you always wanted to play it sliced bread in the middle, you should have chose a comedian that would have represented that. But
You should have chose Rob Schneider. I think Rob Schneider and I think they got the same type of humor.
you basically rode that wave because
Yeah,
you
no,
knew
you're
how
right.
powerful it was.
Yeah, I mean, he wrote the crass late 90s, early 2000s wave. And honestly, let's be real about it, folks. Can we be honest? After Bill Maher got spanked after that whole 9/11 debacle with Politically Incorrect, you know, he kind of he's kind of been like, you know, he kind of been like a boxer that had the belt for a long time and they got knocked out, and then when they get back in the ring and
No, I could say he got cucked.
yeah,
because,
he's
you know,
concussed, comedically concussed. That's what he is
the
right
Israel
now.
lobby, even though he's supposed to be Jewish, a secular Jew, he got spanked. They got him in line when he talked about 9/11, or it seemed like he insinuated that could have been an inside job, or that
He didn't want to get treated like the Dixie Chicks.
you know the United States is blowback, and because of that he lost his show.
A high-rated show too, by the way. It was a prominent show.
And thinking about this though, you know, you see a lot of people being more fearless though when it comes to things that they feel like, when it comes to oppression, period. Like, you see more people, like, even when we talk about Dua Lipa, I be like, I need to listen to more of her music, because she be going out there fighting for different groups of people, you know, going up against Jared Kushner and what's happening in Romania, and then you know, you have her going, you know, in favor of the people of Palestine, and then you see her being against racism when it comes to black people. And you know, there are a lot of people who are saying, well, I have enough money, I don't need to keep trying to accumulate so much wealth at the expense of my ethics or my morals. I have enough money, and I don't need to take every deal. We've seen this with certain actors and actresses right now. You know, when they're saying, like, are you scared? You know, Paramount says they want to weed out people who are pro-Palestine, you know, out of Hollywood. And they're like, I don't give a fuck. They're like, look,
Hollywood's already dying, though.
Yeah, this is
it's a sinking ship.
This is a genocide, and, you know, we're just not going to stand for it. So you have a lot of people who are showing a lot of backbone, and not being cowards. And I have to commend people who are in that system, who are fighting back, because when you're in that system, they think the dangling carrot is, you're not going to get this deal of money. Like you saw what happened with Samsung and Dua. They're like, the dangling carrot, we were supposed to pay you for this, but now we're not. Then they took her music and tried to use it to advertise Samsung without
And they
her.
put her face on the boxes too.
Right,
Yeah.
and so
the TV boxes.
she went and sued them, and we'll see what happens with that lawsuit. But there are a lot of people who always wanted to be, you know, a artist, actor, whatever, who are saying, like, you're not going to dangle my career or more money at the expense of people being slaughtered.
I mean, also people don't really have any choice, though. I mean, you saw the budget cuts with the CDC. They didn't look until we have this parasitical outbreak that also is an offshoot of some data centers taking the water that they use to maintain or maintenance the data center, and they're releasing it or re-releasing it
The dirty water to the public.
back into the public, and it's filtered into people's water system. So, you know, to be honest with you, even with this recent parasitical outbreak, they said they can't quite quantify exactly where it's coming from. They do have an idea that Taylor Farms participates in it, but also there's kind of like almost a bicameral effect that's taking place too, because some of these data centers have been allowed to subvert regulations or regulatory practices, safeties for communities. And with that being the case, you're seeing all of this pressure on all different levels. And it's not a pre-2008 economy, let alone a pre-2001 economy. So it's almost kind of like you're not really giving a lot of the actors and actresses and singers, a reason to sell out and ignore what's going on, because a lot of the confines of the pressures are being felt in industries, including the entertainment industry, which is what you're seeing right now. I told you guys about the VFX artists early on, the massive layoffs that have been taking place there. I went over it with you guys about PlayStation and Xbox. Xbox is still going through their slaughterhouse right now. So just in general, for a new up-and-comer, of course it would be a lot more beneficial for them to consider independent alternatives. When you look at old crogies like Bill Maher, and I just realized, Sin, his glasses are not touching his ear. Yeah, I just realized that, but look, clearly he has a lot of skeletons in his closet on top of that. And, a lot of these guys, when they've been locked into a system for almost 50 years, a lot of the times they're pivoting because they have skeletons to hide too.
Yeah, I mean, the incentive, though, for many people is money. And many rising stars and old dragons have sold out. You're right, though, that it would be more beneficial to not sell out. But there are a lot of people in Hollywood that's selling out every day, despite what is going on with in Hollywood right now, where it's like the Titanic.
Yeah, it is. It is.
But
right.
You still have people out there getting their money, selling out the American people for cash,
for pennies.
Then going to what we're talking about with the data centers. Look, nothing should be above fresh water. Okay, when it comes to fresh water resources, I think you have to be a fool to allow any company to mess with that. I think that, you don't have any care for your life then, because, we're, as humans, and not just humans, there's, of course, other species, most species, we need water. We need
right.
water. We can't live long without it. So, this is like a horror film, to be honest with you. The fact that, this is taking place. It is something that you just can't fuck around with. You can't fuck around with air and water. And it's crazy how we're allowing, to some degree, these people try to do a takeover of both. It's crazy.
Well, yeah, and just to add on to what we're talking about here, like, for instance, they were talking about, microbial bacterium, right? So I'll give you an example, because, again, there's all types of causes right now. And Taylor Farms is going through, a horrible PR moment right now, and they got some boys in the government that are trying to cape and cap for them. But, once the U.S. citizens find out that your stuff is full of, they're going to move on.
Yeah, it's a difficult situation.
So with this situation,
because people don't trust the FDA, to your point.
No, and it shouldn't.
So, even though Taylor, it wasn't me. They said, no, it's not us. It's not us. Nobody wants to take that chance.
Yeah, and then people are finding out that Taylor Farms, because, again, we're in the era of trying to, relive the Gilded Age. So people are trying to get their monopolies up on top of that. So Taylor Farms also, have sub-chains, or they have sub-properties as well. And so some people are like, well, I don't mess with it. But then they find out, the brand that they're messing with, or store-bought brands, right, are really just, Taylor Farm products with, let's say, Winn-Dixie slapped on top of that. And so one of the things, of course, you got people that are 100% against Sam Altman, rightfully so. But you got people that, Sam Altman is their focus. There are some of them I follow, like every day, Sam Altman is their focus. But one of the things, like, for instance, like sitting down what we were talking about here, is officials in Cheyenne, Wyoming, discovered a rare bacterium in the city's wastewater treatment facility. It was traced back to construction wastewater discharged by a contractor building Meta's $800 million AI center. Remember now, Zuckerberg recently we're going to be putting Meta to rest. And think about that $800 million AI data center and what its effect on the local community out there in Cheyenne and Wyoming.
And he got underground bunkers in Hawaii.
Yeah.
other places around the world. But it's like I do think people got to say enough is enough. With these people, you cannot allow people to violate your body, and when they're poisoning your water and food, that's a violation of your body. When people are trying to purposely make you sick for profit, you have to show a backbone when it comes to these things, which is why I am glad that you're starting to see some people do that. We also have the Zuckerberg article and stuff like that on our Patreon.
Yes.
Y'all can check it out. But to your point, there's a lot of different things that are taking place at once, but when it comes to the environment, when it comes to food safety, there's no shortcuts. People have to remember, to if you don't have proper food storage and preparation, there's dangerous bacteria and viruses.
Yes.
That you can become infected by.
Well, yeah.
And go ahead.
No. I was just going to say, just to add on, and I want you to continue on. It's kind of like with the CDC, with the budget cuts. Saying, and you can continue because I want to hear what you got to think about this or have to say about this. The administration had proposed a budget cut that seek to cut the agency funding by over $3 billion. Now, some of the things that you're seeing, in fact, they have I forget what the firm is called, but what they do is they monitor outbreaks. They've been slashed in like damn near half, pretty much, and reducing its core capacity by more than 40%. Now, remember, ICE got, if I recall correctly, all right, let me get into my George Bush math right now. If I recall correctly, I believe ICE received 4 times the budget of the FBI, or I think they were inflated by 400%. Now, again, Sid and I, we told you guys about the paramilitary cop theory, and we went over this plenty of time over the years on Thought Crimes and even on our Patreon. You guys can support us on Patreon as well. And we do upload exclusive audio podcasts, even artwork and animations over there. Also, we will be starting our live streams back up again on Patreon, right? But one of the other things that we talked about was the garrison state, and so this is where you're going to be seeing a lot of militaristic jobs being open, and then or just working for the state. You get what I'm saying? So you're having a situation where they're saying with the CDC, they're pretty much cutting it by more than 40%, which is why people are seeing like more often outbreaks now, because they don't have the faculty to monitor these potential outbreaks. Also, Innovator, shouts out to you. It says, I know this off topic, but who would have thought Rick Ross would have had a better album than Future in 2026? We'll get to that. We'll get to that conversation.
Yeah, thank you
Also,
for the super chat, but I guess derail a little bit,
no,
we haven't listened to all of
which one?
Rick Ross or Future.
Yeah.
But people forget that Rick Ross has always put out, some good albums. I don't think there was ever a situation where like everything Future puts out is just better than Rick Ross catalog, or everything that Rick Ross put out is just better than Future. They both have their strengths and their weaknesses. But we will definitely be listening to both Future and Rick Ross album and give our final thoughts on it. But
well, with Rick Ross too, by the way,
yeah,
again, you guys got to remember, Rick Ross has a formula that has really consistently worked for him. I think right around, I want to say Teflon Don, I want to say that's when people actually kind of started taking him more serious. They're like, oh, okay, this guy isn't just another one album dope boy rapper. Because you remember, there was a lot of trap rappers that came out around Rick Ross's time, and they came and went, So, I did check out the first 2 or 3 songs from his album. I will say they are very strong records. So I don't think, to Sin's point, I don't really recall a bad Rick Ross album. I just, God forgives, I don't. Maybach Music, Mafia Music. I think, around Mafia Music and Teflon Don, I think people like. Actually, I think Rick Ross's weakest album is Triller, and I still think that was a good album. But I actually think if you know the scope of things, that's probably his weakest album.
And I also agree with Barrett. I don't know why they did French Montana versus Rick Ross. I guess they want to do French, but it was a stupid versus. It didn't make no sense because French Montana is
he don't have the body of work for
he's
that.
not on the same level as Rick Ross, so I don't know why that was even a thing. And
it should have been French versus Max B. That's what I think.
And then to Prince's point, Rick Ross always had a solid, body of work, but also with trap rappers, a lot of the trap rappers have had good catalogs. Whether we're talking about T.I., Jeezy, Rick Ross, they've had a pretty good run. Like trap MCs and rappers, when it came to their music, they had a pretty good run.
I agree with you. And again,
Especially in Atlanta.
Yeah, I haven't listened to you're right, saying, and I haven't listened to the entire Future record. I've only listened to, I think, the first 2 or 3 songs where he's like, 1, 2, that record where he sounded like a little horror kid on there. I like it. I like the first 2 records, just like I like the first 3 records off of Rick Ross's albums. The other thing I told Sin, I said, well, I got to take it with a grain of salt because, Sin and I reviewed Chance the Rapper's album, and, the rest of the hip-hop community, they were being moody at the time. They really wanted to keep the focus on Kendrick and Drake, and they didn't want to talk about Chance's album. Now people are saying, you know what, I did revisit Chance's album. It probably, if not, was one of the best rap albums that year. It probably was the best rap album that year.
They did the same thing to Wale.
Yeah,
try to pigeonhole him into something that is none of his business. So why would he care about what's happening with those 2 guys? He wants, and
that was that superfan stuff that got going too much.
I'm glad that people are giving Everything Is a Lot is flowers because we said it was a dope album, and we said the album was going to do well, but people kept trying to harass people
in one of those camps.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of rappers and MCs if you're just a super fan of one person, then you're not a hip hop fan. You're trying to be like the majority of Eminem lovers, where they weren't a lover of hip hop. They were just a lover of Eminem. And if you want to be that, that's cool, but then don't come into hip hop conversations, because why would I care what you have to say about hip hop when you're only addicted to one particular person? So
I'm glad you said that it was one particular person, because there's people that they just love Tupac and they really don't love no other rappers. They're not into any other rappers,
which is fine. But you can't be welcome to the hip hop conversation.
You can't try to have a real conversation
if you are one person's butt. But also Apex said Game versus YG is trash. I agree. I don't know why that's even a thing outside
Game
of the
versus
Compton
YG
thing. Yeah.
It's a concert I'm not showing up to.
Yo,
that's for sure.
Yo, I know.
Y'all can keep that niggas.
Yo,
that's black on black crime right there. Them 2 niggas. And some stupid folks are gonna show up in the crowd with their white girlfriends.
To your point, that's definitely a versus I wouldn't show up to.
But
to your point, but I even think that it's just it's dumb personally. What the Game's catalog is just too steep.
I will say, no, you're right about that, Sin. And the other thing too, by the way, I think for me personally, I'll have to see. I'll check the Future album out. I haven't had a chance to check it out. I'll probably, if anything, I might just type a review on Patreon.
Christopher said I'm staying home on Pyru.
Yeah, no, you got to.
I wouldn't be going to that.
No, I told you one time when I was out living in Oak Cliff, and they had Game and Snoop Dogg. They were supposed to be going to a United Gangbang tour, and a friend of mine, he was like, "Hey man, you gonna go to that Game and Snoop?" I said, "Hell no." The hell you talking about? And then they said on the news it was a shootout in the parking lot.
You went to Nas though, you see?
Yeah, I went to Nas. The only thing Nas did was tuck his chain in, but I wasn't the one on edge. That was whatever was going on with Nas. That's why I don't know who you cursed out before you got down here. But yeah, as far as the Future album, I will check it out. I haven't had a chance to, but for the most part, I would say Future studio albums, I think they more often than not have been they've been pretty solid. I think Future's highs are higher than Rick Ross's highs.
Yes.
But
yes.
I'll get it.
Future's highs are higher than Rick Ross, but Rick Ross' consistency He has more consistency than Future.
Yeah, and so I'll definitely check into it. Now, the other side of it, y'all know how I am. Any Atlanta artist right now, because there's a thing that's going on in hip hop. There's a lot of niggas boycotting Atlanta, including DJ Academics. And so I had to take that with a grain of salt when I see, because if you think I'm lying, they did it to Jid. I'm gonna be honest with you, because there was some niggas in hip hop, they was stepping all over Jid's album.
I agree.
I said, what is this, an Atlanta boycott?
If I personally feel like if you think Atlanta time is over, because all cities have their time,
Yeah,
that's
they all have
fine.
their phase.
But
Right.
I think a lot of hip hop media platforms are corny that you're only saying it because of the
Drake and Kendrick shit.
battle. Because none of y'all niggas was talking about the end of Atlanta until y'all being crybabies about some people being pro Kendrick or some people being pro Drake in Atlanta. Like nobody gives a fuck. Okay,
They think Drake is going to come through the back door of Atlanta. Drake is going to come from Canada. I want y'all to understand. Even ran to Atlanta. Drake's other records are bigger than the record he has with Future off Iceman. You know, so I say if Drake is going to come anywhere, the nigga's going to come out of Canada.
And then it's because people turned it into an integrity thing. If y'all had integrity, you wouldn't be under the nuts of Elliot Grange and Lucien Grange and so on and so forth. So let's come off that. But also, Prince HM3 said, what's your thoughts on Ali Boy passing away?
You know what? I'm not going to lie to you, HM3. Shouts out to you, ATL. Ho, you already know what time it is, player. East side, west side. Y'all know what's up, all right? But I'll tell you this, man. Listen to this, man. The only thing that was shocking to me about Ali Boy's death was how he passed away. You know, when I found out, I think he passed away from, like, you know, after kidney failure or something like that. I was actually surprised. I was like, oh, you know, because I'm thinking, like, when I see Rest in Peace Ali Boy, you know, I'm thinking that somebody shot him or killed him, right? That's why I was like, oh, man, so they probably finally got Ali Boy. Because, you know, he's been in some, you know, he was in some fights with some Mexicans in L.A., you know, so he kind of just been into some scuffles throughout his career. Then he had that thing with T.I., right? Let me see. Matter of fact, let me go to real quick. Hold on here. Let me see something here. Yeah, let me see something here. Hold on, y'all. Y'all get me on this one. Yeah, but I'm going to answer your question real quick. Let me scroll down real quick. Boom, 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 boom. The song Addresses, which is track 12 off of T.I.'s Trouble Man. That's an Ali Boy diss. And so, you know, Ali Boy had, you know, he was kind of making some noise in the city. And one of the people he called, this is what all of the up-and-coming trap niggas behind T.I. was doing. They would call T.I. out. You know, and the T.I. would address it because, you know, the nigga got a Mars and Scorpio, so he gonna jump right into the tar pit with niggas. But anyway, yeah, so he passed away, you know, from kidney failure. That's what they're stating right now. But I liked some of Ali Boy's work, The Apartments, the nigga naughty shit. He got that joint with Jeezy 444. That record was fire. So I mean, you know, it is what it is. I mean, you know, I don't know if it just had to do with his diet, lifestyle. You know, there was a lot of lean drinking, alcohol drinking. Sometimes, you know, a lot of black men aren't taking care of their health, whether they're in the industry or if they're just regular 9-to-5ers.
The kidneys is important, guys. You know, if you fuck up your kidneys or if you're not monitoring them, you can have a lot of consequences, like including even death.
Yeah.
No, but also just to, before we get back to the Letters from Hell.
That's funny. You know, we got to change that title now, The Letters from Hell.
You know, the people talking about, you know, he put Pee Wee, like, then why aren't you talking about the new acts in Atlanta? There's a lot, as we talked about before, everything is going back to regionalism.
Love it. I love it.
And there are a lot of Atlanta acts that are doing a damn thing, and they're doing great. Like, you know, let's stop, you know, riding based off of that whole situation. People are supposed to be moving forward.
I want to say something to that, Sid. When people are saying, like, because my honest opinion, the only other time I've seen Atlanta get this level of, you know, kickback outside of the LGBTQ parades, but
yeah, they did say your city's very gay.
But when people bring that up, I'm like, New York undercover?
And like, also Houston.
Houston is gay.
Houston and New York City got a lot of gay stuff too.
Right. Now, shouts out to also I saw y'all saw I posted that new video with Zero the Crooked. and he got that new song. Well, it's a new video to an old record he had from what was it? It's like Most City to Dawn type junk. But anyway, we'll get back into that a little bit later. But HM3, I was just surprised that he passed away from kidney failure. But the other side of it is this. Here's my thing about it, Sin. Y'all got to understand, this is what Sin and I was said about Wale, what we said about Rhapsody, what we said about Future, Drake, Kendrick, Cole. Yo, this class has had some of the longest runs in hip-hop. Y'all got to understand when you're like, even with the city of Atlanta has been cooking for 30-plus years. What you're witnessing right now is a shifting of the guards generationally. Now, some of the people in the generational shift, they may extend it to where Jay-Z is with the longevity. That is what it looks like Drake, Kendrick, and Cole are doing right now, right? And then some people, they're going to tap out. And then on the dark side of the game, that's going to be Future, right? And so
Big Cray, absolutely. Him
yeah,
too.
but the focus here, I think some millennials got to understand, like, nigga, y'all old now. Like people like, well, what happened? Where's Dirty Sprite 2? Nigga, that was 11 years ago. Like, the fuck are you talking about? Nigga, that was 11 fucking years ago. Millennials, newsflash, you're old now. You're the old niggas in the room. Like, I want people to understand, like, think about how long ago Take Care was. Think about how long ago Good Kid, Mad City was. People, that's right, Atlanta. That Atlanta era, dog, for you, that was 15 fucking years ago. You were either in middle school or you was in high school or you started college. Like, I don't understand. It's like, it's time for a new shift. That's why you see sitting there like, yo, it's Suave out on deck. BK the Ruler, she out on deck. You got a lot of dope niggas in Atlanta popping up right now.
And they're trying to, they don't want them to shine.
They don't want them to shine.
Man, get the fuck out of here. You got people in New York City cooking right now.
Yes,
you got people
Lord.
in Atlanta cooking right now.
You got new acts out there.
You got people in Memphis. You got people out there in Michigan, Detroit. You got people out there in LA, Oakland. Man, shut up.
Yeah, I think there's some spoilage here. Look, I'm just happy Future ain't get shot all up a bunch of times. I'm like, shit, the nigga, whether
I mean, NBA YoungBoy, he's wishing for it.
NBA. I told y'all, NBA YoungBoy gonna have a hard time because there's a lot of up ranking that's gonna take place, and that's gonna be triggering Chicago. But that's a whole nother story.
You saw, he said OTF.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Doughboy.
Yeah, Doughboy. Shouts out to the niggas in Cleveland. Y'all got one in. Who knew that Cleveland was so violent, right? But
yeah,
I mean, if you really think about it, Sin, it's like the runs have been exceptional. Even if you like a hardcore Wale fan, Robbie be in the chat all the time. You guys got to think about, like, when did a mixtape about nothing come out?
A long time ago, and Wale still putting top tier music out.
I mean,
should be celebrated. I'm starting to see more hip hop platforms pick it up, but it's like it shouldn't have took y'all this long. Y'all supposed to be hip hop platforms, and y'all not really talking about hip hop that much, or things that are helpful to the community. You starting to see some that are pivoting into like getting well and letting people know what's happening politically, but. It's you people do them. We're gonna do us, and they're gonna do them.
People can have their own opinion if you want to have your think pieces about people wrote about New York falling off all the time. Atlanta would be no different, but overall, I think what we're witnessing is that some of these guys, they're aging out or they're going to be shifting in a different direction. But you got to think about somebody like that's been watching that. Like 15 years ago. That's crazy. If you really kind of think about it, like there's new artists that are popping up right now.
Because of cultural diffusion, New York City never really died, though. I mean, you had T.I. who infused a lot of New York City aesthetics with the Atlanta style. You had Lil Wayne, who was, inspired by Jay-Z and, different things like that. Just like right now when they're talking about the decline of Atlanta, so many of y'all from different regions have infused a lot of Atlanta style into your music.
That's the boy
So-
that be cracking me up.
So it's like when people be, bumping gums like about, oh, this is a cultural diffusion. Like you never really see a region that has been very impactful when it comes to sound. You never really see it go away because other regions have fused it with their sound.
Even other countries too. But I really think.
Like Chicago scene with drill and Memphis, and you saw that over there with the UK and all that. Yeah.
I think Atlanta is running into a problem that would be similar to LA and New York. At some point in time, LA and New York were very influential, especially in hip hop, but they both got taxed on the back end post East Coast, West Coast beef. You get what I'm saying? And I think Atlanta's running into the same problem right now, that they're being taxed on the back end, or Atlanta's being taxed on the back end of the Kendrick and Drake beef. And every time we say that, or every time I say that, people pop up. They say, "No, that's not true." I say, "Yeah, yes, it is. If y'all thought Drake was trying to creep in through Wyoming, it'll be a bunch of niggas online talking about Wyoming fell off." So, I don't really care, whatever. If y'all have y'all personal beef, or y'all feel like, Drake is Frankenstein in the castle and y'all got to behead him, y'all have that right to try to do that. But you also need to look at things correctly. Atlanta, the people weren't in Atlanta's face like that before the beef. You get what I'm saying? And that's because of the direction Future decided to take, or he decided to piece it up with Drake behind the scenes. And then,
But he's like doing business. Drake hates Pharrell. He's sitting right there at the World Cup, sitting right next to Pharrell. Future, they reading too deeply into Atlanta, and it shows you when people don't respect or understand people's cultures or respect it. I don't go running around telling people from Tennessee and California and stuff like that what to do. Atlanta likes to make profit, and they like to do collaborations, and they love collaborating with people just across the board, trying to tell them that they should stop being them because y'all doing dick measuring contests. It is stupid.
Oh, ain't nobody gonna listen to y'all.
You see Lil Baby, he put on that dumbass pajama outfit where he had Drake's face everywhere and on his nuts. And then he went out there and got a song produced by Pharrell. Them people do not care.
No.
They do not care.
Nobody's going to listen. I get what the internet is trying to direct people to. And, it could be anybody. But, again, the reason why I knew that the post-Drake Kendrick situation was pretty bad because I saw people clowning Jid. And all Jid was tied to was J. Cole. And he didn't even really jump into it. But he had an excellent album. Cindy and I, we reviewed it on our Patreon, and we thought it was a wonderful album, but they were stepping on that too, So, again, it comes with it. But at this point in time, you do got to keep in mind is that when you saying something is over, you also need to be asking yourself, am I invested into the acts that are coming behind, or I'm just interested in my era? And I feel like my era's coming to an end. And that happens generationally. Everybody does it. But people did it in basketball, whether they were pro Jordan, pro Kobe, or pro LeBron. It happens.
Well, in basketball, though, in sports, up until I don't even know what's going on recently, there's usually a respect for that other person's talent and skill set, even if, you competing against. But yeah, I love to get back into the broader conversation of hip hop, is what we had to do to some people in the audience. Like, this is not a stand channel. This is a hip hop channel. And of course we go into other things, if you want to be a stand of somebody, go ahead. But I don't like people who try to make me worship people. Yeah. I like people's music and that's it. But if you try to make me worship somebody, we're going to have some issues.
Yeah, I get it. And it's just not fun. It's just, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. It's not fun. Listen, I know for like mental illness, the stan culture is excellent. They're like, woo, we're crazy. My crazy versus your crazy, right?
Yeah, but just to let people
But in
know,
real life, though, to the average listener, it is not a fun culture.
Jimmy Iovine said he wanted more of that fanatic sports energy into hip hop. Just want to make that clear. Yeah. We can't say that people didn't have fun, more lucid conversation on hip hop, with exception of like certain people like Eminem people, but they weren't hip hop. A lot of the Eminem fans, they just weren't hip hop. So when they doing that super fan shit over there from Interscope, we understood what it was. You know, you try to have a conversation with them. Oh, you know, years ago, like, no, you know, Rhymefest defeated Eminem. Eminem haven't had any, you know, real tough battles in mainstream rap. They like looking at you dumb because they don't know what the fuck is going on. And Jimmy Iovine wanted to expand that into hip hop so people become more one dimensional. You even have Billboard right now doing fan armies, war off, and all this other stuff. So I don't like that lame type of energy. Although, like I said, what people was good for them is good for them. But when you try to come over here to me and the platform Prince and I built and try to say we need to worship an individual artist, is like, I'm not doing that, number one. And if you're talking about corruption, all of them are corrupt. That's why I don't defend none of their personal lives. You know, Drake could be trafficking. I don't fucking know. I mean, we saw Lucian in a lawsuit that eventually he was taken out of pertaining to trafficking. You have a Christian artist right now saying UMG is not safe. You know, but I understand the conversation becomes boring when it isn't, when it doesn't trigger people fanaticism. You say something of intelligence, people get mad. Yeah, there's a pyramid scheme. You crying to us about one particular artist don't change the fact that you don't have no interest in having that same energy with the people who actually can provide the foundation when it comes to trafficking.
Well,
you know, it's like, you know, even hip hop obsession was just talking about only rappers with the Epstein files and different things like that. But you don't want to talk about, again, the foundation of what took place with the global trafficking rings. You're just trying to do it to be an I got you moment for whatever team you play for, which is despicable. You're either for victims and you're not. And I see hypocrisies on all sides. You know, people who are pro or against any of these people, you know, when their favorite has a sexual assault lawsuit or their favorite hip hop label, and it could be whoever. You could pick your poison. It could be OVO, TDE, Rock Nation, whatever. People become little mouses with their voices. You were very loud when it was somebody you didn't like. But then when allegations are there with somebody that you do like, now you become mousy and you just want to focus on the music. Well, should have did that probably from the beginning.
Well, the survey says that niggas that can sing and rap, and if they're guilty of sexual assault and trafficking, the public has had a poor record with indicting them. So I wouldn't expect anything, whether it was a singer like R. Kelly or a rapper like Mystical. Remember, I told y'all even hip hop gave Mystical a grace assault charge. It was like we're gonna let
multiple times.
We're gonna let the first one slide, you know. And it was like, damn it again. I guess so. But yeah, no. Listen, I mean, maybe there'll be a broader conversation to that. But as far as like, I do have people. Love you all from the think tank, but I do have random people because they know, you know, that's where I was raised in and grew up since a baby in Atlanta. You know, when anything concerning one of the prominent hip hop artists like Lil Baby, Future, Young Thug, somebody's tagging me on X. Like, yeah, now what do you think about this? And then I go to their page. They're pretty much pro Kendrick and Clips. I think they release great albums, but you know, I don't really care like that. It's not really my fight. But no, I think with Atlanta, I think Atlanta's being taxed because of the Drake and Kendrick battle. There's really no other reason why every new artist that come out or every artist that release something out of there, you know, the hip hop people online or X, they kind of get tired or they make stank faces about it when nothing in reality really happened. You get what I'm saying? So,
and talk about stink faces, that's what some people are making on the toilet with this diarrhea lettuce. You know, also it's crazy though because you a big fan of icebergs, and you know it's interesting because you just naturally wasn't eating it lately, and that was good.
Yeah.
That was a good thing for you.
Romaine lettuce.
Although I don't think you really do tailor though farms like that though.
No, I don't. I actually don't like a lot of those prepackaged salads because a lot of times they can be sprayed with ammonia. A lot of times they have different dyes that they don't tell you.
And
or
how
now,
it's packaged, it festers a lot of bacteria. Yeah,
and you got to think about the plastic too, because a lot of the plastics are leaching into the food or the drinks too. By the way, and you know, cancer rates are just. Man, if you look at cancer rates just in the West, it's spreading globally, including places like China. But like, it's just ridiculous. But yeah, with Taylor Farms. I usually avoided them because they don't look like they hire black people anyway. So, yeah, I didn't really care. And the packaging looks cheap.
I don't. Yeah, the plastic thing, situation is a great point, and how it's packaged is festering a lot of deadly bacteria, you know.
Now, what they're saying here with this outbreak, and they're trying to quantify it down to, whether, because there's some other situations, because there's a 2-week incubation period. So somebody could not really be displaying any symptoms. They could be actually asymptomatic in the process. But when it does hit you, no pun intended, it hits you all at once. And what ends up happening is that, you lose a lot of water weight. You become excessively dehydrated. And if you are a healthy adult, though, you have a pretty strong immune system, or it's fair to say the least, you can weather the storm, but you may need to go, take some antibiotics and things of that nature. But if you have a weakened immune system, it could cause other situations for you.
That's the problem. The food and the chemicals.
And so that's what's going on
are
here,
weakening
too, by the way.
people's immune system.
No, you're right about that, Sin.
And RFK Jr. said he was going to come in as a hero for the people.
Always got to go the opposite.
And he's just made things worse.
Well, that's because
he hasn't really helped at all.
That's because he's a quack, though.
He's very much so a quack.
He's a kook, yo. And people heard him saying he was going to get rid of the red dyes and the blue dyes. And it was like, well, I want to put him in there. I said, have you read what RFK Jr. has written? The guy, I mean, he might as well be Chris Carter directing X-Files, all right? The guy is a weirdo, He's got very quacky scientific takes, But right now they're trying to, also confirm Erica Schwartz right now as not FBI, but CDC director. And you guys know the CDC have been cut about roughly at its core about 40%. So this is why you're seeing a lot of food outbreaks, more so because the manpower by Doge. Remember, Doge blew through all parts of the government like Hurricane Katrina and started having layoffs. And, it was said that Elon Musk was targeting a lot of those federal agencies that was actually investigating him. So he came. I know,
anyone who was against me, we got to butcher it up.
You're right, T. And if I recall, iceberg lettuce is all water. I think it's like 90% water too.
Which is why it's very healthy for you. Until these motherfuckers keep trying to make things. You notice that they also trying to go for things that are not expensive but healthy.
Yes.
Even when they want to re-engineer sweet potato.
So Bill Gates can offer you his poop lettuce. Bill Gates is obsessed with making everything edible out of poop. I don't know what that's about. He's a very disgusting man. And so, let me put this here. It says here Taco Bell. Okay, the Taco Bell Cyclosporia outbreak sickens 1,600 plus as Taylor Farms issues nationwide lettuce recall. Okay, and people are finding out that if they ate at Taco Bell, Chipotle, that you may have it, right? Believe it or not, the reason why Taco Bell was able to kind of get on it so quickly, Taco Bell gets crucified for a lot of different reasons. Also, the food is just nasty. I haven't eaten at Taco Bell since I was 9. I think.
Yeah, same here. Like one time, and even as a kid, I was like, yeah, this is nasty.
Because I was thinking, like, is the Chihuahua in the meat?
Ew, come on.
Hey, man, you never know. Because when we grew up, we thought, you heard the rumor in Atlanta, like, there was kangaroo meat at Checkers. Don't go to Checkers.
Because people forget, like, because we eat every day,
yeah.
Except for, periods when you're fasting.
Right.
People forget how dangerous food can be.
Yes, it is.
And how even in your own home, a lot of times people are not even storing food the correct way.
That is
true. Which
true.
can lead to some serious consequences. Remember, guys, you can die from food poisoning.
Right.
No,
she's right about that because, I've worked in fast food and I've worked in the restaurant industry. It's not as safe as people think it is. We got plenty of people that are in the chat that have worked, or are still working in that industry as well. And I'm telling you all, the only time these people tighten up is when inspection comes
look
around.
at what happened with
right?
Panera Bread.
Whenever they have inspection, that's the only time you really see these restaurants tighten things up with safety.
Look at what happened with Panera Bread. You know, they had the supercharged drink, and people who had already had heart conditions, died.
That was the one with the 500 milligrams of caffeine.
Crazy amount, and
some people didn't even know that it had that much caffeine. They was like, "This is good." Shouts out to the crew, guys. Says top of the top TCZ think tank. Go be great. We appreciate you. Go ahead, Sid.
Also, eventually we'll be having the review of Kendrick's track that came out yesterday. We already posted the preview that was put out on the Patreon publicly.
With Amber Mark.
Yeah, it's publicly on the Patreon too for everyone to check out the teaser of the track, and y'all let us know what y'all think. Eventually, though, of course, we're going to be giving a review on it and a review on the full track when it comes out. But it's up on the Patreon publicly for anyone to join. Also, remember, you don't have to be a member to join the Patreon. Although, if you are a paid member, you get a lot of exclusive stuff like, the Esoteric Tier, where we break down the esoteric side of films. Like we did one on Sinners that everybody enjoyed, and we did the Black Panther. We're going to be doing him and the Odyssey next as well, and some other films. We also do music reviews. We reviewed PFG and Never Say Die, and just so many other albums that we've already reviewed. We're not just only doing hip hop though, but we're starting off there as the basis because Prince and I love so many music genres. For Prince, another genre he really loves, rock and roll. I like to get also more into those genres as well on the Patreon. But definitely, y'all can head over there. Also, exclusive information in politics as well. Some of the things that are happening right now are some of the things we talked about years ago, even on the Patreon. Shout out to Steve Simmons. Steve, we love Steve, and we've been chopping it up with Steve for a while now. And, he gave us some flowers and talked about how, he was able to get ahead of a lot of things financially, land, all that stuff, through, us as a media platform, just giving the audience a heads up on things whenever we can. Of course, there are people even before we were born who talked about these things as well, which we always give them, those people their flowers, the people who warned us what was going to happen in politics and, in literature. And a lot of the brave people, just who've been out there warning people about what was to come. And, you could take this opportunity, though, when you are ahead of what's about to come, to be able to make the best decisions for yourself and for your family.
Also, Crown says E. coli signals laborers have no time to relieve themselves. That is true. And you guys got to keep in mind, it's not just Taylor Farms. It's a lot of these warehouse and these plants across the nation.
$2,000, too big.
Yes, they hire a lot of temporary work, and a lot of times some of it is illegal work. In fact, I recall working at one in Houston. No, was it Houston or San Antonio? It's like when I was a teenager. But anyway, I was working there. It was a redneck. He owned this plant. It was this huge plant. Like it supplies a bunch of vegetables and fruits for different grocery chains. But anyway, the illegal immigration squads used to touch down on the plant all the time. But the key thing here is that he would get a heads up. He would get a tip off somewhere. So a lot of the illegal laborers wouldn't show up to work. So it would literally just be black folks on the floor and a few white folks. By the time they came in to just do their routine, I don't know, once a year raid to make it look like, the tax dollars are going somewhere, a lot of the illegal laborers weren't there. So a lot of these companies, they cry about all of this stuff y'all see online. And again, just like what we break down in rap music, that's for the fan culture to get caught up in it. Realistically, a lot of these corporations, they're tied in with the agencies. They get special perks. They get special deals. They get heads up when certain raids are about to Landon. It's really just mafia ties because a lot of times they can even use money to back in having raids sweep down on their competitors and getting rid of their entire staff. That happens all the time.
We see Campbell Soup is trying to rebrand themselves with saying that they have authentic meat, real organic ingredients. But here's the problem. I don't think anyone should ever trust a company that have told y'all, I don't eat this shit. No. First of all, it's already a strike that you have fake meat and stuff. But if you look through all the documents and let's say the CEO and the owners, they were eating the product as well. And, they had humility in when people said like, no, we don't want these fake fake meat and all that. And they're like, you know what? All right, well then we'll, change our ingredients. No, they told you from the beginning that they were designing this as slop for you to take while lying and advertising it as a family brand for when you're sick. When you're sick, you can consume it.
Yes.
So for me, you already forever on the block list. I can't deal with nobody who's a fucking liar, who was mocking people, talking about people in that type of way, humans in that type of way. There's no adjustment. Now, do I feel that way about all companies? No, I do think like people who consume their own brand and, constructive criticism, for some companies, I believe in that. But when you've already showed the background information, proof and evidence that not only don't you consume your own product, but you also mock the public and that the fact that your product can cause health concerns for people, there's nothing you can do to change my mind for that particular company. So I would never, ever fucking eat no Campbell Soup.
Also, just to say this too, and shouts out to Crowned K. We appreciate you, sis, all the time. Shouts out to you, Shawty. She says here, salute, Sin, Peace, Solo, and be more. Shouts out to the think tank. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you this morning. We appreciate you. Y'all know, speaking of that, what Sin is talking about, y'all know Campbell's owns Late July chips. I know for those people that feel like, man, I finally got something where I don't have to eat Doritos, because you eat Doritos you literally might as well put your mouth around a car muffler, okay? Because there's so many random chemicals in there in Doritos. And when we was kids, like teenagers, all them ingredients weren't in them damn Dorito chips. Man, I remember one time I looked at it, it was like 53 ingredients, and then 45 of them was in another language. I said, what is this?
No, it's some crazy shit. Also, 3968 said, I shouldn't have been working anywhere after I got jumped worse than Rodney King before he even got animal attacked. I got snaked attack, or maybe he's trying to say a sneaked attack by our own people. Or you got to watch out for everybody.
Yeah, you better get out of that. Yeah, that's what happened with Tupac before he got shot.
Yeah, no.
I never thought my own people would shoot you. I said, nigga, please.
I can love being black and love my community and know
I can respect there's danger there too, just like with any other group.
Yeah, love that they're good people. First of all, I like to only hang out with, any group of people that have sense. There are a lot of black people who have sense, but I don't do that like with Princess. I don't do that fake we are the world that every demographic is nice and cuddly.
Move, nigga.
I
don't know you.
The reason why I get along with my own community is because I don't be around elements where it would lead to that other type of energy. Although, to be fair to people, depending on where you work and stuff like that, sometimes it can't be avoided.
Also, I want to talk about this. So Late July chips, and I remember, I was eating some of these, right? And then that whole situation happened with the Campbell's official, right? And he said, hell no, I don't eat that slop. Hell no, look at me. I'm rich. You think I would eat poor people food? Man, watch out. That's what he said. And the worker that was in line to sue him had him on the wire. He did not even know he was talking to Johnny Brasco. He said, I want you to hear what I'm saying. I hate poor folks. He said, can you say that one more time? I can't stand them. Right? So cool. So then we had to look up. We said, well, what does Campbell's own? And then boom, Late July chips come up. Now, you remember again, the official at Campbell's was basically saying, they're eating 3D printed plastic.
Shout out to that brave American that put him, recorded him.
Right.
I don't, like you said, I believe in people who reveal the filth behind the scenes. That's a good American, and I'm proud to be an American. Where at least I know I'm free. That person did a great job. Ruined, destroyed Campbell Soup's whole industry.
It's still scrambling in front of Diddy.
And I love it. I love when corruption is revealed. I love when people who have been exploiting, like, who talks to their customers in that way, where, like, you supposed to be providing a service where people can safely buy your products, and you want some Michael Rapino type shit. Like,
I'll say it again. I hate humans.
And on top of that, they said allegedly it was a racist rant. Let me just play this real quick for y'all.
He was cutting up.
He was cutting the fuck up. Let me play this.
You think I'm gonna eat that slop? You think I'm gonna eat that slop? Here, listen, in case you're recording.
No, he was having training day moment.
Yeah.
It was a training day moment where, remember,
and we raising the prices.
Some of these companies, work with certain
some of these people are psychopaths.
Off the book.
Y'all gotta understand that some of the people
agencies.
some execs are psychopaths.
Listen to this, guys.
We are following a messy situation for the Campbell's Soup Company today after a former employee filed a lawsuit against the company and then released audio his lawyers say he recorded during a meeting with executives. Let's go to CBS News correspondent Chanel Call, who's live in our newsroom. Chanel, what do we know about this lawsuit?
So, Liz, this lawsuit, we understand, was launched by a person by the name of Robert Garza. Now, Garza was hired as a cybersecurity analyst for Campbell's back in September of 2024. And, Liz, 2 months after he was hired, he says he had a meeting with an executive named Martin Bally to discuss his salary. Now, during that meeting, he is now alleging that Bally made several disparaging comments about Indian workers and also said that Campbell's is, quote, highly processed food for poor people. Now, CBS News did get a copy of that recorded phone call. Garza's attorney is saying that this was secretly recorded. So take a listen to part of that conversation.
I don't buy products barely anymore. It's unhealthy. Now that I know what the in it, even in a can of soup, I look at it and you can eat bioengineered meat. I don't want to eat a piece of chicken that came from a 3D printer. Do you?
So Liz, Garza says that he actually told his manager about that phone call a couple of months later in January of 2025. And then he said that he wasn't encouraged to take that information to HR. Now, just 3 weeks after that conversation, Garza was told that he was abruptly terminated from employment. So Campbell's released a statement on this. I'll read you part of what they say. They say, "We are proud of the food we make, the people who make it, and the high quality ingredients we use. The comments heard on..."
Just real quick, you see how they're a liar? If your ingredients was already good, why are you now trying to, a couple of days ago, trying to rebrand, saying we now really do have authentic, real ingredients? You see how easy it is for these people to lie? But let's listen to the rest of this video.
Sam, I got a question. Where did the 3D printers go? Did they go to eBay? Because I'm going to eBay.
Recording about our food are not only inaccurate, they are patently absurd. We use 100% real chicken in our soups. The chicken meat comes from long-trusted, USDA-approved U.S. suppliers and meets our high-quality standards. All of our soups are made with no antibiotics ever chicken meat, and any claims to the contrary, they say, are completely false. The company is also saying, Liz, that Bally is on temporary leave while the company now conducts its own investigation. But this isn't the only legal trouble that Campbell's is now facing. I want to show you what's on my screen here. This is a social media post from Florida's Attorney General saying this: Florida law bans lab-grown meat. Our Consumer Protection Division is launching an investigation and will demand answers from Campbell's. So the state is now saying it's going to be looking into this company. So it's not just this one lawsuit, the state also now launching its own investigation.
Now, this is important because, been waiting for the investigation. So far, they haven't really brought Campbell Soup to task. But because of the American people, Campbell Soup is still losing. And right now, they're trying to reinvent themselves. I'm gonna play this clip here.
That's gonna be
right
hard
now
to do.
from Wall Street Apes, and I'm gonna play this clip that he posted on his X account.
For poor people.
So Campbell's just released this new soup that they're calling high quality ingredients, but I feel like saying, what were we eating before? Low quality ingredients?
This new high quality ingredient, Campbell Soup, is nothing more than basically a PR stunt. It's just rebranding after what that executive said. This new soup is reformulated with no artificial meat. And the reason why they had to do this is because so many people stopped buying Campbell Soup. And
So you see, people stop buying it because, you can't count the people out, especially right now. I believe that a lot of groups of people are going to get fed up with certain things, and I believe that people do have the self-dignity and agency to move. I just think that, of course, people got a lot of personal issues in their lives that they have to deal with. That's why I say, people really don't have time for, drama with people in Hollywood. Everyday people have real things they have to focus on, and people have been doing a great job in boycotting Campbell Soups. Even though, Taylor Farms put out the statement, we can't trust any of these companies. So people are not going to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to get some lettuce from Taylor Farms. No, I mean, people are going to look for alternatives as they should. We're talking about your body here. You only have one body, even though I know Elon and them are trying, are trying to get into the future when it comes to biohacking, when it comes to the human body.
Nobody want to see them in the future. That's another thing. They're so arrogant. Who want to see them coming, in a new shell? Also, after he made that statement, because he did have a training day moment, a seasonless training day moment when he talked about 3D printing, right?
We 3D printing in this bitch.
Yeah, he said 3D printing real meat, right? But, Campbell's, you got to think about it. Campbell's has been seen as a trusted brand. A matter of fact, let's see here. The Campbell's company, formerly known as, let me see real quick. Campbell's Soup. Hold on real quick, y'all. 1 second. Let me get this up on the screen. There we go. The Campbell's company, formerly known as Campbell's Soup Company, owns a vast portfolio. Here's the trick, and this is why crackdowns on monopoly moves are very important, because one of the things that they're able to do is just, you don't know who owns or what company that you've been loyal to as a customer. You don't know that they're suddenly under the umbrella of another company that you said you're not going to mess with. Give you an example. Colgate owns Tom's toothpaste, right? So some people, as you've seen in the early, I would say 2015, 2010, 11, 12.
Tom's.
Yeah, they said we going with Tom's. But then you find out that Colgate is like, hold on, not so fast, bitches. I got you, right? So even if you look at this situation here, Campbell's as a company brand, or their company brands for meals and sauces, Raoul's Homemade, Prego, Pace, Swanson, SpaghettiOs, Campbell's, okay.
You name it.
There you go. Snacks, Goldfish, Pepperidge Farm, Kettle Brand, Snyder's of Hanover, Cape Cod, Late July. Remember now, a lot of these companies are doing this everywhere. They're buying up. They're subsidiaries everywhere.
Well, that's why, if Taylor Farms was always from organic,
yes,
and people never had issues, it did everything the right way, never had any issues, and the FDA said, oh, y'all the reason for this outbreak, and then later it said a false positive, people would be more lenient, okay, maybe they're out to get you. No one believes that the FDA is out to get Taylor's Farms, because y'all are not radical in any type of way for people to even believe that.
Ain't nobody out to get y'all because y'all not black owned. They need to calm down. Hold on, Sid. Hold on. I gotta say that, man. Buddy,
I'm innocent.
Bro, you gotta bring that back down, dog. Y'all ain't black. Ain't Pepperidge, whatever, Taylor Farm, Pepperidge Farm, they're not owned by black people, right? So with that being the case, you're also seeing it with food chains. So if you look at it right now, you see Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, Domino's. A lot of times you find out that all of these companies are folded up under one corporation. And then you have a situation where you're having private equity firms that are buying out a lot of these corporations or these failing corporations because, again, the economy is not what it used to be, right? And they keep having price hikes. And then these people did put in with Trump. They donated to Trump's campaign so tariffs can be raised. So then they'll have to raise their food prices on their menus, and then they'll have less customers, and then they'll be forced to sell to private equity firms. And they're like, "Well, we don't know what happened." You see how like the
private equity firms that had issues with.
You see how they keep eating themselves.
Jaylen Brown. But let's play. We're gonna play this.
And also, just to say this real quick, Sin, I want you to continue on. Just because a private equity firm is buying you out, a lot of times they end up selling to another private equity firm, so it's kind of like it's almost like a running joke. But go ahead, Sam.
New confusion on the Cyclospora outbreak sickening thousands of people across the country. As one company, Taylor Farms, voluntarily recalls its iceberg lettuce in 27 states because of potential contamination. This weekend, the FDA, looking at whether there could be a larger outbreak, tested a lettuce sample from Taylor Farms not involved in the recall and said it found Cyclospora, but overnight said that was a false positive and that no product.
You are not the father.
Have tested positive for the disease yet. The agency is now continuing to investigate the source of the outbreak. Still, the Taylor Farms recall is ongoing, and the company says it has suspended distribution of iceberg lettuce from central Mexico. And Walmart pulling market-side bagged shredded lettuce and iceberg salad supplied by Taylor from its shelves in multiple states. Walmart adding there have been no confirmed illnesses associated with the products. Dr. Jennifer McIntyre is a food safety expert who's consulted for Taylor Farms in the past.
Most grocery stores, restaurant chains have systems in place to remove the product from the shelf once they hear about these issues.
Right now, the federal government says 1,645 people across the country are confirmed to have the illness.
This pain was like nothing I've ever experienced.
Maria Aguilo, a marathon runner and childhood cancer survivor, says she was sick for 3 weeks before getting treatment.
This isn't a normal stomach virus that it's going to last, 2 to 3 days and you'll go back to your normal life. It's going to throw off your life for weeks.
Now, the recalled iceberg lettuce was distributed as recently as last Thursday, and some of the market-side lettuce, that's the lettuce that's sold in Walmart, has a use-by date of August 3rd. So if you have it, throw it out. As for Taylor Farms bagged salad mixes, the company says those are not involved in this recall.
Wow. All right, finally some answers, Anna. Thank you for wearing your lettuce jeans today.
Exactly.
You're on the theme. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
I get it. You don't like that little small talk.
Yeah,
You're funny. You're like,
care.
all right, fuck out of here. Let's go. Okay, go.
But no, that is talking about false positives.
You are not the father.
Some lie. They are like I'll give you guys an example. Like, this is what Sin and I was talking about. I know people think oh, you guys are just talking about hip hop with this, but no, we're saying that the corporations. It pretty much is what they said. It's always been the empires. It's the story of Star Wars, right? Like, even think about all of these brands that once competed with each other in the 90s, especially in the 80s and 90s. KFC, Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, right? They're all up under the Yum brand.
Yeah,
they've all been consolidated, and they're doing it everywhere. But go ahead,
NVIDIA and Apple tried to partner with OpenAI, and so did Disney. But Sam Altman is he's just such a shitty person who's possibly even a killer or murderer.
Ellen needs to come get her son.
Right, and it's interesting how every time a company try to partner up with them, there's issues.
Because it's stupid.
Because he's a scam artist.
Yeah, it's a scam, Shawty. It's a scam. But yeah, what's been going on right now, of course, the administration, the admin, right, has been budget cutting everything, especially with the CDC, while they're trying to swear in this new director. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to it with Erica Schwartz right now. And very interesting dialogue back and forth, and talk about capitulating. Let me see something if I could put her on screen.
And also, like, people forget
you
that.
Go ahead, Sin. I'll get back to them.
Frito-Lay potato chips had a recall last year, and then they upgraded it to a higher classification over potential, you know, danger because of some milk, you know, adjective. So
No, she's right about
you
that.
know, I mean, I'll play a little bit of that while you do what you do.
Certain Lay's chips to its highest risk level. It involves 6,000 13-ounce bags of Lay's. The FDA upgrading its recall of certain Lay's chips to its highest risk level. It involves 6,000 13-ounce bags of Lay's potato chips because they may contain undisclosed milk in the ingredients, potentially dangerous to people with severe milk allergies. The bags were sold in Oregon and Washington State.
And they, yeah, I heard my voice feedback, but also with some of these chemicals and stuff, some of it, you know, have protein lingering in your system longer than what it's supposed to. Some of it harms your immune system.
Yeah.
It's like, it's like we're talking about warfare from within, like destroying people from within. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
No, you're right about that. And also, you know, not to freak y'all out so early in the morning, but we're going to share some more
Are
of
we
these
freaking
links.
people out?
A little bit, but it.
I mean, it's better for them to know what's going on. Also, we have a super chat.
Also, Victory Status. Shouts out to Victory Status. Says here, shout out to the think tank. Check out medical apartheid, environmental racism. Both Taylor Farms and the lettuce outbreak from 10 years ago happened near military installations by large bodies of water. Yes, we brought that up, how a lot of times this is actually when a lot of the infections do start. Because they're offshooting whatever these wastes are that a lot of times are top secret until you can dump the top secret, whatever it is, into public water or the public ravines. And then it flows into people's beautiful faucets and stuff like that. But no, Cindy, you're doing a great job with highlighting these issues. You also, guys, got to keep in mind with supplements. And I'm going to put this on the screen for you all because you guys know about moringa, right? If you guys don't know, I mean,
yeah, Serena Williams is trying to get into the business of it. She wants to create her own as well. You seeing certain celebrities not only go into that market right now, yeah.
Well, you know what's saying. It's funny that you said that. There's a lot of scamming in the supplement market. As you guys know, it's not really regulated by the FDA. And one particular green supplement that I know since I was a little kid, I've always seen have some scamming issues is when new moringa brands pop up. Whether they're sponsored by an athlete, it could be LeBron James on there talking about drinking moringa, right? And then you find out the Chet Hanks looking guy that ran to LeBron James because they golfed on the course with each other and they talked about they shitted on Memphis together. You know, LeBron goes in with him, and then you find out that there's a salmonella outbreak, you know, and you guys got to be careful. Just want to put this out there, you know, to the point since we already in this department.
Grant said all the red pill dudes be selling supplements.
Yeah,
and
they
I
do.
don't buy
No.
nothing.
Yeah, great way to get cancer, diabetes 3. Everything you can think of, because you know they idiots. You know they idiots, and they daddy work for the administration.
And they have no ethics.
No ethics, no morals, nothing.
You definitely don't buy supplements from them.
Y'all remember they had that nootropics craze? They had all of those nootropics.
Alex Jones even went him.
Yeah. I'm telling you, get your libido up, all right? But one of the things you guys should pay attention to, because there's a lot of leafy green supplements that get sold even within our community. And you want to know where these things are going to be sourced from, because one thing that's specific with moringa, and usually when you find like green powders, people don't tell you how much they absorb the soil. So a lot of times you can get, you know, cadmium, you can even get lead. That's a big thing.
But that also goes with even some of the seasoning too, because you know, even with the FDA and USDA, you're stuck between a rock and a hard place, because none of them do a good job. I mean, there had to be you have 80. First of all, what is the use of the FDA when 80% of olive oil is fake?
Yeah. So
what is the use of these institutions where you also had a situation where cinnamon wasn't even cinnamon, it was lead that was being sold to the public, or the fact that honey isn't even real honey.
Yeah, so, but it also goes for these greens, too. The reason why, and Cindy is right, the reason why I mention these greens, I know for me, when I'm on Instagram, I see a lot of black women that are, working out, and some of them have followed us, and then I see them hold a brand up that I said, well, that brand has lead in it. I don't know where you got it from. I don't know if you got it from a discount. One thing you don't want to go cheap on is some of these supplements like Sin is talking about as well, even with the honey. That's not a space to go cheap. But keep in mind, even with olive oil, just because you're spending money doesn't mean that it is 100% pure.
Well, Prince talked about what is worse is people trying to make you pay $20 for something that's not good, $30. Now, we do pay a lot. We pay a lot for our groceries. All Americans do. Like everybody's paying.
Yeah, everybody does.
Everybody. But what makes it crappy is people are paying a lot of money for shitty products. We got to make sure, even with black pepper, we get the right black pepper with the right company, so it won't be lead. We got to make sure we get the right cinnamon. We have to pay extra money, but not make sure it's the cinnamon that costs a lot but still is lead.
You're gonna want Ceylon cinnamon.
Yeah, so we have to, like, every little thing.
They won't shut your kidneys and liver down.
Even when it comes to the herbs, and when it comes to the supplements, Prince and I, we have to triple check
do research.
Everything.
And
everything.
And it's going to be a little bit more daunting now because Buddy in office is letting all of his niggas through the back door. So, like for instance here, T&V vitamins, I remember seeing this shit everywhere. Look at the wrapping. It shit looks cheap. I'm not trying to be funny, right? But what happens is that some of these companies, which you'll find out, and you have to be careful with supplements. Like, for instance, there was a lot of women that were trying to lose weight. They were getting sick, from these green tea supplements. And what they found out is that it was shutting down their kidneys. So some of these girls would be damn near a step away from death's door. And you also see it even in the bodybuilding community, a lot of bodybuilders dying at 23, at 30. That shouldn't be the case. And, people are trying to figure out what it is. A lot of them are getting these brand sponsorship. That's why I said there's a downside to influencer culture, because somebody approaches you and let's say they say, if you're a guy, like, we got something to raise your T levels, man. And all we need, because we looked at you, you have 40,000 subscribers, and we think you'd be most effective for our marketing plan. That company's not going to tell you that the EU shut their ass down and they ran a raggedy ass to America because the restrictions aren't the same, right? Or they got kicked out of Canada. Now they're in America, or they ran from America to Europe, and then they're trying to talk across the ponds, right? That's how they moved around. Yes, the supplemental market is a trap house. It is Bankhead, all right? It is 1999, 97 Bankhead. So you do want to be careful about these things. And one of the ones I usually see that keeps floating around my timeline is moringa powder. Moringa and spirulina. There's only literally a few brands that actually are pure enough that you can ingest. Most of the shit, like Sin is saying, even with olive oil, most of the shit on the market is trash.
Yeah,
I'm just being honest with you.
And trash, and the olive oil is very absurd. How you making? It's one of the most egregious things I've ever seen in my life, that you try and have people pay $30 for some fake fucking olive oil. But anyway, we've tried olive oil even from, the continent of Africa.
Yes.
You got some olive oil brands from Morocco, from South Africa. Kenya is getting into the market more. And if you don't get a little cough, or if you don't feel like
that kick
in the back of your throat, is not real olive.
It's going to be a kick in the back of your throat.
It's not real olive oil.
And it's going to be almost like you're feeling smoke through your nose a little bit, and you more than it's going to give you a real strong peppery taste. Corey says spirulina is hard to find. I'm not going to lie. I'll post a link up there. One of them you guys should check out. Again, I'm not not sponsored by that, but there's so
you're not doing what Charlamagne did?
What do you mean?
Advertise a casino, but not let you know that.
No, I don't work for them. I would let y'all know.
You invested in them.
Hell, man, if I had a deal with them, I'd definitely let y'all know.
Hey,
y'all
guys,
sign up.
We let you know, but we're not gonna let you know that we invested in it. Here's a company.
Charlamagne talking about, but it's public. No, I said, nigga, shut up. Ain't nobody know your ass was over there with them casino niggas. They saw you over there with Jay-Z.
Well, you know, everybody in Hollywood is in the casino.
Yeah.
Gambling business now is Nas, is Jay-Z,
it's all of them.
It's Kevin Hart, it's Drake, it's Tom Brady.
But you know that's a sign of the times.
Tom Brady is, I think, damn near.
They
a good amount of Hollywood right now is in the gambling market.
Because they're saying that Americans about to get desperate. You know, that's where they're going with it.
Yeah, they even got apps where you you gambling, you can make $22 in one day.
Also, going back to who mentioned it.
Pivot said itchy throat. Like, is it like ginger root? Like
no, it's not quite like ginger. Just think about if you inhale strong pepper.
Yeah,
and it makes you kind of cough a little bit.
Just a little bit, like it should. You should.
And for the men, you may feel. I'm not trying to be funny. You may feel you might want to roll on top of your spouse a little bit. Okay, so because it does spike your testosterone levels. That's why some of these boys online talking about your T levels, man. Take this supplement. I'm like, the Mediterranean men, like, they smashing a lot because they consume a lot of real olive oil too. Also, it can make it hard for platelets to stick to your arterial walls too. So, you know, men and women, you know, especially if you're up in your 40s or 50s, if you're not looking to have your arteries clot, consuming quality olive oil will work. And also, Corey, I will tell you, Hawaiian blue spirulina and micro ingredients spirulina are two of the most rigorously tested brands of spirulina. And the reason why you guys don't want to mess around too much with the spirulina, because some of these companies, how they're farming it, can actually have elements that can damage your kidneys if you take it, if you ingest it too. So you got to be careful when it comes to the supplemental market. Again, it's a scam. Companies shut down, then they come back as a new company with a rapper's face next to it, or they got, like, you know, a pitch of Jennifer Lopez there. She popping them in the commercial.
Yeah, first of all,
you got to be careful.
If any supplement saying like it's going to help cleanse your kidney, like, just drink water.
Drink water.
If you got to drink 1 to 2 glasses of water when you wake up in the morning. That's supposed to help, you know,
go ahead, Sid.
You know, clear out your kidney, and then also drink water right before you go to bed. Also, like, you know, of course, there's certain herbs and things that help your kidney, but also within reason.
Right.
You know, but when they be trying to have supplements like, it's going to clear out your kidney, clear out your liver, you got to be careful with stuff like that because they could be damaging, you know, those organs.
She's right. And 3968 cents says that's why I got rid of Dr. Sabi. Sorry, that's why I laugh.
Yeah, fish oil is good.
Yeah, you also fish oil is one that you do have to check on too, because there's a lot of bullshit fish oil caplets on the market. Hercules says here, spirulina can't touch metals. It will absorb the yes, and most of these powdered greens people don't talk about, they can absorb metal, so you literally having that process through your system. Also, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to what's been going on with Erica Schwartz real quick. You know, she's going through this whole confirmation hearing as far as potentially being a CDC director. You know, a little bit of you know, kind of look like she's about to get, you know, she's going to kind of do the bidding of the administration, you know, because that usually happens. But I want y'all to hear some of this because you guys should be paying attention to some of these type of things too.
The CDC collects data on abortions that are committed in the United States of America through a system called the Abortion Reporting System. This system is voluntary, and so a number of states, not coincidentally large blue states, do not turn over any data, so that it's difficult to get a picture of just how many abortions and under what circumstances are committed in this country. We do know the numbers are going up, way up. Since the Dobbs decision of just a few years ago, the numbers of abortions committed in the United States have gone way up. Well over 1 million abortions last year. I'm sure the number, based on what we know so far, will be higher this year. And all of that is just based on what we can cobble together without full reporting. My question to you is, and I realize that the abortion reporting system There's been some talk of moving it to a different component in HHS other than CDC, but historically it's been located in what would be your agency. So if that continues to be the case, would you commit to trying to get as much information, again, to collect the data on the number and circumstances of abortions as is provided for in this system, to collect that data from these states and to work with those states that are currently holding out and not giving it to actually get the data so that we can know, we can get a picture of what really is going on here? Will you do that?
Senator, you have my commitment. Abortion surveillance is absolutely a critical component of what the CDC is currently doing. To your point, it may be moved to another agency within HHS. I also want, I agree, yes, I will look into that, but
Thank
I
you.
also want to also make sure that certain states are not conflating emergency services and hiding abortions in that emergency services case definition. We need to make sure we're pulling out true abortions and making sure that we're really having clear case definitions regarding abortion so the data is actually accurate.
Tremendous. Fantastic. I thank you for that, and I look forward to seeing you follow through. My time's almost.
Okay, so that's that again for those people that may be unaware what's going on right now is a confirmation hearings that was going on with Dr. Schwartz. Her name is Dr. Erica Schwartz, and her responses are very interesting to me. I actually think she's going to be the role of Ben Carson for the CDC. You know, doesn't really give that much pushback. And you guys got to keep in mind with a lot of these confirmation hearings, you know, this is a grand interview publicly for a position of promotion like no other in their career fields. So you got to understand they're kind of going to say anything to get the role or get the job, right? And to stay there, they pretty much are going to be some capitulations there. And again, got to give it to the Trump administration this time around. He came outside to play football for real, you know, and started knocking people out of positions. You know, of course, there are people within federal agencies that said, you know, I'm not doing this, I'm quitting. But also, only thing that happens in that regard, let's say somebody that has some sort of standards leave, you know, they're just simply replaced by a sycophant, you know, and then we can kind of get this train on, we can kind of get the terror machine on status a lot quicker. Yes, Schwartz, her last name is Schwartz, Dr. Schwartz. You guys should definitely pay attention to her confirmation hearing, and I would implore you to look her up. She will be a huge reoccurring thing in your life. I'm just going to be honest with you. Those are things you should definitely pay attention to because, again, these are like these grand chessboards and pieces. And, you know, even with Trump coming outside, I think yesterday or the day before yesterday, he said that, you know, the integrity of the elections in 2020 were compromised. And Sid and I, we said one thing while the progressives, white liberals and white progressives was trying to dog whistle to the right and the far right, how much they're not going to be, quote unquote, on board with black people. I said, that's cool, but the Republicans, they're not playing your game.
I mean, they're
not playing your game at all.
Voting system that was compromised that I saw was billion.
Yes. Yeah. So, again, a lot of, you know, people like Bill Maher and the Casparian, they're doing this thing where, like, you know, we're going to get away from the blacks, black leadership and commie bastards. Again, who's to say you'll get a chance to have an election in 2028, realistically, the way they're moving things around? And Trump and Elon Musk have already shown that they're two Mercurian sons that have a dislikable like/cooperation relationship with each other. So just like when Elon said Trump is in the files and Trump, they all sat down at a dinner table, they was cracking jokes with each other. I actually think, you know, it's a bit of a rigged game. Not saying to give up. I'm talking about where you guys should focus in locally. I've told Ariel Smoke that. I've told some other people that as well. You really want to invest into your local dynamics. If you happen to be in a quote-unquote blue state that is fairer to the survival and survivability of your family, then you would like to get to know some of your local politicians and what's going on in your community, because you're going to see as we push towards 2028, state lines are going to become a prominent key deciding principle in the quality of your life.
Also with Grant, I think that more black liberals and conservatives and whatever need to get together. I think when it comes to media, black people spend a little bit too much time
there
nitpicking each other, but then they'll, and I'm not saying you do it, Graham, but then they'll kiss a white person's dick who has a different point of view than them, kind of like how you saw with Charlemagne, which being cool with Joe Rogan, having his disagreements, but let it be a black person pertaining to the Trump administration, then all of a sudden he's full blaze if the black person has no power in Hollywood. I think that there need to be more platforms that have conversations with each other that have different political views that are black. It's something that black people used to be very pioneering in.
Yes.
And now other groups of people are doing it. You see right now that, other groups of people are like trying to get different aspects of their community to engage with each other in media and have conversations and debates. And that's something I would like to see come back again into the forefront of black culture, to allow and have different black people with different point of views to debate each other, to have roundtable sit downs and conversations. I would like to hear it.
I actually agree with you, and that is something that no, you're right, Sid. That is very important. I do think, particularly for black folks online, we get a little bit too caught up in the media trap. People start talking about getting rid of folks and canceling people, this, that, and the third. And realistically, you're going to have to network across the board when it comes to trying to make the best moves for your family. And we actually segregate ourselves from each other very well. Just because somebody may be conservative or they may be a liberal and they're black, they will not speak to each other for the depth of the race or the life of the race.
And you never know when you may change somebody's mind. Before we're about to get to the super chat, but even on
I think you are. I'm sorry about this. Hold on 1 second. Go ahead, sir.
Even on X and other social media platforms, like we have a lot of black progressives and conservatives that follow us, and we talk to all of them. I like talking to the diversity of the black politics because we get great information. Like, person I wouldn't have known that you had the particular names that were playing both sides and pretended to be for progressive policies and stuff like that, but behind the scenes was begging Trump for money. If we didn't talk to Dr. Scott, we have people who are really militant about reparations and about also progressive policies that we follow and talk to as well. I think people in the black community need to talk to each other more, because you don't know when you may change somebody's mind on a particular issue. So we like to keep communications open with different aspects of politics when it comes to black people, and pick their brain, see where they're at, seeing where they're willing to move or budge.
Yeah, and that's the key, and that's what went on effectively in the past. It should be the thing for the future, but again, black people have to stop playing themselves for that particular loop. Victory Status here says they trying to find out how much Soul Poll is cracking through the CDC. Shouts out to you. Yeah, you guys should pay attention to that situation there. You're going to see more of these particular type of outbreaks, unfortunately. And remember, one of the things that was already kind of happening with the Biden administration is that certain companies were able to be branded, or their properties or products were able to be branded organic, and they actually weren't. What was the rigorous?
Organic has become a scam now.
Yeah, I know.
It had good intentions at the beginning, but it has definitely have become a scam. And just to address Victory real quick about the boule, and is the boule in the way? Yes, and you could be honest about that. Like, Prince and I don't try to censor ourselves with telling the truth. We ran into some boule old school members who are really embarrassed about what the boule have become. We've seen some black people a part of fraternity orders who are like, why are these people being cowards? Like, our money is supposed to be coming back to the community. And then you see people even like Roland, who are now agreeing with the more what would have been called the more radical voices in the black community, people who said to not vote at all when both choices are against your values or policies that you're for, we were called quacks or called ridiculous. But you see how a lot of Middle Eastern Americans are starting to gain more power in the political field because they withheld their vote, because they're like, look, you know, what's taking place in Gaza is a serious thing for us. We don't like how Israel has too much to say in the United States and all that. So now people in the political ring that used to make fun and mock black people, and remember, black people are mocked for saying things in advance. A long time ago, black people were saying hold your vote, and the Boule and a lot of the political figures, unfortunately, in the black community kept calling all of us dumb, only for now, finally, for them to understand what it is. And now they're saying, oh, withhold your vote if they don't respect you. Like, bro, this is why you can't have your head up your ass. Like, even when Prince and I are strong about our views, we're still open-minded because we want to know what the chat has to say. Maybe everybody got a blind side somewhere. There's somewhere where you're not paying attention or you're going to miss information. And you don't want to be arrogant because you may be wrong about something. Any of us could be wrong about something. So when you had so many figures in black politics be so arrogant and, you know, trying to say that the black population
they want to see you
is
win.
dumb. We want to just see you win. Like, it's like, you know, and now you're saying it. Well, maybe you should have been more open-minded when black people were saying, you know, look at what happened with the Democrat infrastructure with Flint, Michigan. Oh, yeah, and how both the Democrats and the Republicans looked out for ex-Governor Snyder the atrocities that he was a part of. And, you know, they kept calling black people who thought they were radicals, quacks, not satisfied with anything. And now they're finally following along.
Yeah, so you guys, and I'm going to add on to that again. I would definitely implore you all to check out, you know, some of her responses. Now, some of the pro-MAGA folks, again, are cutting up because, you know, Trump is supposed to be the anti-vaccine guy. Not happening. Okay, Big Pharma has a very powerful lobby in this country, and they donate heavily to campaigns on both sides, all sides of the aisle. So there was no way Trump was going to walk his big ass up in there and talk about, I'm taking out Big Pharma. And again, I don't know why they was, you know, believing the New York slickster, but it is what it is. And so one of the things that has, aroused anger with some of the MAGA base is because Dr. Schwartz here said she believes in the effectiveness of the mRNA technology. Now, you guys know that, you know, these are people that are, you know, fans of the documentary, died suddenly. I did have a chance to check out the documentary. It was some interesting talking points, but, you know, these people go as far as to saying, you know, they don't want no smallpox vaccines. Basically, some of the basic stuff that children do need, that they don't die of scurvy, you know, at age 12, you know, that, you know, children ain't been happening since God knows when. But the whole point is they still focus on the candidate. They don't focus on the game. You know, it's kind of like, for instance, when people talk about in hip hop right now, you know, about lyrics, you know, they ain't really rapping lyrics, this, that, and third. Sin and I, we always say it was the industry that did this. You know, you keep pointing at whether it was Mims, Lil Wayne, or Future. You just don't like these niggas. The reality is that the industry dictates where the crowd is going to go. And the crowd is along on the field trip as long as they can see some artists that they like or dislike, and they can enjoy that process. So they'll come out and say, I don't know, Lil Wayne killed hip hop. Queen Latifah killed hip hop with Who You Calling a Bitch. You know, it's about the gangster shit, right? That has nothing to do with anything. Those artists come and go, they die suddenly, no pun intended, right? The reality is that it's the industry. The same way with a lot of the MAGA folks that are they got their eyebrows raised with Dr. Schwartz. No, this is a part of the industry of politics. So the order of dictation is that she's going to serve a key role for whatever waves that are supposed to be coming up. All right. And that's why I say it's not anything disparaging to who she is. She's actually a very highly decorated officer and doctor. But I said she is going to be playing more of the role of a Ben Carson for the CDC. And that's what I mean by that.
And this should be a lesson. Like, there's things that.
So they finding out that they kind of got gypped in the process again. But
No,
go
yeah.
ahead, Sam.
This is why we say when people be like, even in hip hop, credible people who went to school for journalism. And all that. Sometimes that is true. I mean, people who you can see the professionalism,
right,
and that it is of value.
Yes, it is.
But also, not everybody who have those credentials are to be trusted. As you see with government, it happens all the time. Or journalists talk about they were in a helicopter.
Brian Williams. And when I laid on the side and the officer behind me kept shooting and 2 copters went down.
You see, he's a liar.
I did not lie.
So, and then there's certain people sometimes in alternative media who are telling the truth all the way. William Cooper was in alternative media, he predicted 9/11 and unfortunately was murdered. But going back to this and going back to what we were talking about with the great question somebody brought up earlier or conversation, I want to hear what every single aspect of the black community has to say. I don't want to be in an echo chamber. I don't want just only one train of thought. And I want there to be a conversation so we could get to the best idea and the best way to go about things. But yeah, Roland Martin is definitely a narcissist, a blowhard, egotistical, and it blew back on his face because he never wanted to hear up until now, now that he thinks it's probably his idea, but he never wanted to listen to the valid points that another sector of the black community had to say. And anytime you ignore anybody, that's already a problem. When you don't open up dialogue and conversation with people, I think it's ridiculous. But going back to what we have here, this is why I also don't support just anybody just because they're a black politician. No, I mean, you have black politicians that have been put into positions of power just to set back the black community. So, you got to be watchful, of that as well.
Yeah, even, if you're talking about with HUD, and you saw even under the reign of Ben Carson with HUD, you actually saw more black women prosecuted into some cases unfairly for housing voucher fraud. I'm talking about if somebody worked an extra hour over their mandated hours while having vouchers versus other people that could be in the middle of Austin, whether they're Mexican American or they're white American. They can have a F-350, F-250 pickup truck. The husband can be supervisor of a warehouse, and they can still have housing vouchers, from the United States government and not be investigated for anything. So if anything, when I saw Ben Carson, I knew immediately that there were going to be particularly more black mothers that were going to be prosecuted by the FBI. And again, typically when you see, as Dr. Amos Wilson, the departed notable psychologist he was for black youth and black children, usually if you see black folks elevated at a high level to a high official status level in government, you can typically expect a round or a campaign of slaughter somewhere concerning the black population in America. Again, it's not doom and gloom, but just because I see shiny black faces in their beautiful uniforms, I'm not impressed, Shawty. I got to see how you're moving. You get what I'm saying? So that's just how I generally move. But immediately, I remember seeing people celebrate Dr. Ben Carson. And, if you grew up in public schools, APS, Atlanta Public School System, they had us to read the book Gifted Hands. And
that's
had us to see the movie
almost
with
everywhere.
Yeah.
Gifted Hands.
See the movie with Cuba Gooding Jr. and, but you come to hear him in interviews, you're like, wow, this guy's
another good
crazy,
one was,
right?
When Mos Def played Vivian Green and the Blue Baby Syndrome.
I got the cue on. Yo.
He actually did a good job though in that role.
But Yeah, we'll see. But right now, MAGA is kind of split on Dr. Schwartz because they see that she is pro-vaccine, and they was expecting everybody to come in with Trump, that they was going to rail against the system. RFK Jr. is not even doing half the shit he told them motherfuckers, right?
You got to be careful. The only thing, when you have a lot of corrupt heads of states and then also a lot of corrupt people in government, they do a monkey paw effect.
Yes, they do.
People said they don't have an issue with vaccines. They have an issue with vaccines that are Trojan horses to destroy people's bodies, and we know the difference. So there were a lot of fumbles with the COVID vaccines. And also, you do know in American cheese there are aspects of the COVID vaccine that's in American cheese. Just to let y'all know, I'll put the links and the research of what's going on with that on the Patreon, which is one of the reasons why I just been getting cheese that's not American. I've been getting cheese, European cheese, any cheese that don't have that shit in it. But it's
and they got more strict. They have stricter standards too.
Yeah,
globally,
the government
in some regards
is a monkey paw effect. So you be like, well, we want proper vaccinations. Okay, we gonna get someone for vaccines, but it's not gonna be what you want. Whoa, I'm against this. I'm against vaccinations. Robert Kennedy Jr. dumbass. Do you understand? Like, everything you ask for with government is always not what you want added, which is why it's like you gotta be very clear in your language and in your actions when it comes to government. Otherwise, you'll get that monkey paw effect.
Also, as you guys can see, the crybabies are making memes about Dr. Schwartz, as I knew that was coming. Listen here. Trump CDC pick, the queen of mandating vaccines. Mandated smallpox, anthrax, flu shots on U.S. forces with threats of discipline.
Trump trying to make money.
Yeah, my only thing about that.
Trump trying to make.
Yeah, but my thing with them, who do they think Trump is? That's my question. This is why I said people that was really up Trump's orange butt, they got daddy issues. They got father hunger. They really thought
the people who were fans of him as a person versus whatever reasons
politically there's different. You're trying to move whatever raggedy because they all raggedy. Whatever politician you're trying to move just to kind of like make my life a little easier here.
Right. We're not talking about those people. We're talking about the people who were just fans of the guy.
Daddy's gonna save them like Andrew Tate. You see?
You know your daddy's home forever.
So y'all saw that Andrew Tate was up there getting arrested dressed like Debbie Allen. Y'all saw that shit.
That guy does not come off straight to me.
Man,
it feels like in the closet.
Yeah, and you see like they're coming after me.
Bugattis. They're coming after his Bugattis. You made me laugh when you said one brother have no hair in the front, the other no hair in the back.
Yeah, it is true. They do. Them two. They remind me of some clones. I don't know what went on with them, but anyway, yeah. So just to put that out there, you guys should definitely look her up. Because she's going to be head of the CDC. And, again.
Grant, he made me laugh. Yeah, you know what, Grant, they did think that Trump about to kill a lot of white people. What do y'all think this is, bitch? The fuck y'all think this is? Y'all think the SIF is just going to single out black people? Nah, all y'all getting cases on y'all asses. Just like y'all thought ICE was just going to shoot one demographic? Nah. They killed 2 white Americans, 1 black American, and a bunch of Mexicans. I don't know what people think. Who y'all think y'all fucking with? Who do y'all think y'all voted for?
I'm serious about this pimping shit.
Like, even when we broke down Trump first administration, we said this is what Trump is. Do you even know like how he run around in New York or even in Jersey, in Atlantic City, or even in Florida? Like, come on, y'all. I mean, like, that's why sometimes you just gotta sit and watch the train wreck, because it's like, who do people think these people are? Just like when people be thinking like, you don't know who Hillary Clinton is? The Clinton Foundation, what took place in Hades? Super predators? Like, do you not know who these people are? You think this is the Care Bears?
What the homeboy say? Initiate Order 66. Wipe them out.
Yes. This is Project Wipe Them Out.
Wipe the white out.
We'll promote anything to get it done.
Oh, yeah, here. I'm going to play the clip. This is Trump here. It's crazy. Let me tell y'all a story. Y'all want me to tell y'all a story real quick? So I had a chance. Somebody sent me an opportunity, and this is what I will say about the finance class, the finance capitalist class, the people that want to be banksters, right? They already know who Trump is. So when I went, a partner of mine, when I was like 17, I had to be 16. They gave me a ticket. They was like, you want to go to a Trump seminar with Trump University? I said, well, I'm not signing up for Trump University, but I want to see what the nigga look like in person, right? So I had got there. I talked to some other people. They were like, everybody had their suits on. They was shaking hands. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? You here to see Trump? I'm here to see Trump. Trump's a great American. He's a businessman. You got the Art of the Deal. We got free copies of it in the back. They had a book of the Art of the Deal just sitting on the table next to the donuts. Guy comes onto the stage. Hey guys, Trump says he's not going to show up. Oh, okay. I mean, that's okay. I mean, because Trump, there's Art of the Deal. He probably has a bigger deal somewhere. I mean, it is an art after all.
You want some more donuts?
Want some more donuts? Yeah, right. So, some other people, I think like some of his staff was hanging around. I chopped it up with a few of them. I didn't, you didn't really get into the inner circle, but you had a chance to walk up to him, shake their hand, talk to him a little bit. They look crazy to me.
They always look like they was on
They
Zoloft.
look crazy to me. One of the guys looked like he was zooted up. Oh, hey, young man, how you doing? Yeah, man, Trump has always been for minorities. I said, what? This is before all of this president shit.
That's all they do. Even on X, when Elon and Trump was fighting,
right?
There was one of the, like you said, people in the financial space. And he came on DJ Spaces and was like, yeah, man, I don't really care about anything pertaining to Elon and Trump. I want to know why they're beefing because I'm trying to make my money.
I'm not going to lie.
He was there. He didn't give a fuck. Like, people who were talking about the policies, like,
I know, yeah.
He said, no, I mean, I don't care about that broke shit.
Yeah.
I want to know why they're fighting because I'm trying to make my money. And, bro, I don't even know what's going on now.
That is okay, because there are two sides of Trump supporters. The side that's emotional, they cry baby, they got mommy daddy issues. Those are the ones that
the
really,
poor whites.
That's who voted
and
for
the
him.
whites who
and
have
some
money.
of the kook blacks.
Yeah.
Because there's some kook blacks over there too.
The white people who have money, they look at the White House like a casino.
Yes.
So they're like, okay, like, yo, you supposed to rig this casino for us for money, which he does. You know, you saw it with Live Nation before the states came out and started suing.
Get the money, get the go. I'm not gonna be here long. Go. That's how he is. Get it now. Right.
Yeah,
that's how he is.
His first term actually. As racist as it was a floodgates for black people, Hollywood black people, not regular black people.
A lot of
Hollywood
scamming rappers.
black people went and got money behind the scenes with Trump. And then this, his second term, it's definitely for the white bankers and anybody who's a part of the banking order and system for them to just run in there and get their money. But, that's just what it's about.
Also, shouts out to Warrior. Dan says here, Prince and Sin, you beautiful earthlings, been a while. South London, locked in. Trump and Tate are nonsense. Salute. We appreciate you. Shouts out to the South Londoners, too.
Shout out to everybody out there in London. Also, everybody in the UK.
Yeah.
You also saw recently they said they're not going to be doing the ID chips.
They ain't got the money for it. Who they gonna hire? You're going to have to hire some Caribbeans, some Muslims to enforcing it, and some of y'all don't want to.
So right now it's been put on ice. So that's people have been celebrating. With the whole ID and the chips and all that. So far good look for y'all. Let's see how long y'all can maintain that
energy.
That energy to stop them from putting chips in everybody's asses and IDs.
Before I get to the super chat too, by the way. What I will say is this. Now, we're talking about the emotional side. These are the people that, the TV personality of Trump. These are the fans of Trump. Like, these are the culture fans of Trump that you saw during the election, right?
Right, kind of like when you see Ray Daniels going to be like, yo, Jay-Z's my GOAT.
Right.
Like, there's so many people who remember Trump in entertainment, and they be like, Trump is their GOAT.
But like for me, at the time when I went to some of these spaces to meet these folks, I was on the other side where the bank boys were. I kind of didn't give a fuck about what Trump was doing. I just wanted to see, was the old fucker going to make me some money? That's how. And honestly, there were guys that liked Trump, but that's how they talked about him before, even if he was going to show up there or not. They was like, yeah, is the crooked bastard going to make me some money?
Which is interesting because you took the other route in life.
What's the other route? I got saved?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that is true. But I'm just saying, I know that's why y'all heard me roast like the part of Jay-Z that's being emotional and Pan-Africanist. And who the fuck is this nigga? Like Conor McGregor said, who the fuck is that guy?
About, this the 5% Hove.
Yeah.
Remember, there's Buddha Hove, 5% of Hove.
Get that nigga's afro out of here.
Bill Gates Hove.
So when I'm saying it, like, see, I don't like when they like, okay, I saw Ray Daniels clip. Ray Daniels like, I'm a fan of Hope. For niggas like that. Yeah.
He's my idol.
Oh, no, nigga.
You know how though everybody say somebody their idol before they diss them?
Yeah.
They Funk Flex, Jay, my idol. But you were wrong.
I gotta keep it real, Jay. You're a Brooklyn nigga. I know how you get down there. It's a good joke. It's a good joke.
I chose you over Pac. When Pac dissed you, I was on your side, Hov. It was you and Biggie.
They laughing at you, nigga. Now, again, it could be just how I was raised, my makeup, or whatever the case is, but I wasn't fanning out on Trump culturally because at the time when I went there with some people that I knew, and this is when I was like doing sales and stuff, I just wanted to see was I going to be able to make money off the old cracker because I actually didn't care about none of the shit anybody was talking about, right? But at the time, neither did most of the people that were there. They were really, I'm telling you, there is a class of people that are riding with Trump. You guys, like Sin said on the spaces, them boys and girls don't care about nothing.
He was connected.
They just want to know, is this going to, like you say, you made me laugh. I want to know, why are they fighting? Is this going to interrupt me making money?
He was in the network circle of both Trump and Elon, and when the fight first became public, it was all over X. He was like he was worried that their fight was going to mess up his money.
I understand it at the time.
That's the only thing. Like
I'm telling you,
he didn't care about human rights. He didn't care about what Doge was doing that were killing kids. All he cared about is the disgusting form of greed. The only fucking thing he cared about is my money.
Yeah,
that's it.
And I think that's what people didn't understand about Memphis Bleak. Now, Memphis Bleak didn't understand about social media. Like, they was going to cook him anyway. But when Memphis Bleak said what he said,
we don't owe you niggas shit.
That's the Trump culture because they're New Yorker. That's just to say this one more time.
Fans pay the bills.
That's the Trump culture. Memphis Bleak, Jay-Z, that's the Trump culture.
But I would say that's New York City culture too.
Yeah.
Although there are activists in New York City.
There's a lot of activists in New York. That's why I said I just highlighted New York.
The city is split because you have a lot of prominent activists, but you will also, Wall Street is right there. So you always had that duality in New York City.
Y'all got to understand the reason why I say that's the Trump culture, because for a lot of New York rappers, Trump was the MJ of capitalism for them.
Of course, rappers were a huge fan of Trump for the longest time. Yeah.
So, like, for me, like when you guys see me and Sin like have our roasting of Jay, it's not that like you hate the nigga, but it's like, come on with all this Afro pro-black hippie shit, when in reality we know what you are, the robber baron that you are, right? I just don't idolize these people that way. I just take them for what they were, because Jay-Z's first song wasn't Everyday People like it's a great song by Speech and Arrested Development. You get what I'm saying?
Everyday people.
Yeah, his first song for the public was You Can't Knock the Hustle.
Because you can't knock the hustle.
Right? And so here's
I'm
what...
saying like Tiana Taylor.
Sing it,
Who you think you are? Well, baby, one day you'll be a star. La-dee-da-da-da. Ba-doom. La-dee-da.
See, you said ba-doom.
I'm gonna be fake like Funk Flexing, but I really enjoyed that album.
So Memphis Bleak is giving you this energy. This is all Memphis Bleak was giving you. Listen.
Not even a little bit. The only thing that matters when I'm talking about Iran, they can't have a nuclear weapon. I don't think about America's financial situation. I don't think about anybody. I think about one thing. We cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon.
I just think about winning.
Did y'all hear that? He said, I don't think about America's financial situation or anything.
He said he don't care
He doesn't
if y'all broke.
care.
First of all, he said he don't care about inflation. He don't care if y'all don't have no money. He don't care if y'all can't go to work. He said we in competition with Iran, baby. That's all that matters. And also that my homies are making money. That's it.
And I'm telling you all, and you got people that, you know, they be in our chat. They've dealt with the Trump administration too, because I know people be looking for like celebrities, but you have people that like have worked in these spaces with Trump. They be in the chat with y'all. Some of y'all be up there roasting each other. Y'all don't even know it, but
to your point, Prince, Trump is accessible.
Yes.
I don't know why people be thinking these people be out of reach.
They're all accessible.
These people are easy to get in touch with.
Yeah.
You know, now sometimes it's a little bit harder than other periods depending on when you hop in. But I mean, these people are not untouchable like some people think they are. If you travel or go outside, you can run into any of these people, especially the people who be buzzing around thirsty for more money around Trump. They be everywhere.
Yeah, I got to be real. So, like, you know, when Mouse was, you know, on the show on Power 105 with, you know, Bleak, and Bleak was giving him the same conversation. And that, I guess for me, I think some of the reporters in our current era, the commentators, I think they're a little bit too sensitive in the sense of I believed you, or in the sense of
people who said that are people who don't know Trump. Because even back in the day when Trump was actually running to be the nominee for the Republican Party, I talked to certain people and they was like, Trump is the one for Christian values. I said, listen, listen, boomer. I was like, Trump is big money and he doesn't care about morality. He only cares about his ego. He'll make a deal with anyone if it makes him look good.
Get it done.
And you know, so I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Dr. Schwartz,
the fuck you talking about Christianity for?
Anybody that can push the ball forward. Dr. Schwartz, y'all see a dark-skinned woman, that is his pick. Again, it's kind of like the only thing we tax Jay-Z on, we said, hold up, nigga, there's an era of millennials and Gen Zers, nigga. All they know is you and them free locks and them Hillary Clinton pantsuits.
Y'all saw the call-in.
Yeah.
The call-in straight from Detroit. Shout out to everybody from Detroit.
Yeah.
She was like, I only know him from 444.
See?
And now.
And that's what we say.
They don't know Reasonable.
They don't know Blueprint Hove. They don't even know Black Album Hove. Can I get an encore?
I got the hottest chick in the game wearing my chain. Like,
in fact, You want to hear Jay-Z's response in?
Yeah, let's get from those who are coming in. Let's Jay-Z had something to say to Thought Crimes, and we want to take a listen to the message from Mr. Z.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. Is this mic on? Is this mic on? You got the right beat, but is it the right song? Niggas out there in the industry keep calling me back, but calling is cap. You wanna walk around and just take photo ops, not giving interviews, acting like you the hardest? They trying to make me the target because they don't want to shop at Target. But look in the mirror and ask yourself, on an Indian graveyard, is that where you bought your home? But you the one that's still shopping at AutoZone. Even as a baby, many of you was hypocrites, begging for your mother's love. But think about the sins of your mother, because she was still using Dove. You dumb millennial niggas, all you want to do is point the finger at me. And all you doing is dropping zingers and tweets. Then you spread lies and talking about bringing up beef. You can never compare none to Young. And remember, J. Cole is just a homeless version of me. I'm like, hold it up. It doesn't matter who you holding up. Y'all better listen to Rosenberg. The big three, it's just me split into three. And I don't even need to flex. Let me keep it calm. Keep your bombs. And I don't even speak to flex. I was the one that stepped in the game. And gave you that hard knock shit. Or do you want me to spit the 10 commandments? I can get on that dot shit. I've been dropping hits like Drizzy, but I can still get on that thought shit. Or do you want me to keep it peaceful and say that we equal? I can get on that J. Cole dirty sock shit. There's no nigga past, present, or future that can outdo Hove. Hunchback old niggas acting like they outgrew Hove. I don't even know what you're talking about. All I can see is that your teeth keep falling out. Still roaming around with no slow security. Why you focus on me? MAGA has your social security. Anyway, just leaving it right there for a lot of you dumb niggas out there talking about who's this, who's that, what's next, but you're still on X. You're still typing data centers. Go ahead and hate us niggas. Bleak was right. I don't owe y'all niggas nothing. Like Pharrell said, I'm a fat bear on a bicycle with an army helmet. It's time for war. You're still using Amazon. Some of you all still have your lease that's signed on property where dead Indians lie. I mean, you know, it's just what it is in America. We're all hypocrites. None of y'all are greater than I. You gotta ask yourself, where's your water coming from? You gotta ask yourself, where was that phone made? You gotta ask yourself, where did that laptop come from? You can't judge me. It's like Pac said, only God can judge me. But he was a hypocrite too. But you love that. He fucked Madonna, and I hit it too. Y'all can keep hating all y'all want, niggas. What can I tell you? Oh yeah, by the way, cocksuckers, Michael Jackson still ain't have a Baychella. You niggas need to understand, I've been a god. Y'all hating. Even Rosenberg got back in line, and that's after I talked about the synagogue of Satan. So come on. The rest of y'all black niggas, get it together. I'm out.
Fire. Bars from the one and only Jay-Z. Nigga acts about me.
Hold on, Sid. That was Mr. Z.
This is his twin brother.
That's Mr. Z. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what y'all talking about. That was y'all made Mr. Z angry. Y'all heard the passion. Y'all heard the flow, the ferocity. All right, so Mr. Z every now and then will continue to chime in and check us as black folks, because you know we hypocrites out here. We can't just be calling him out. We got to look at ourselves. Where did that metal for that spoon that you use in your house come from?
Where did that mug that mug you drink from come from, niggas? Where did that oil you put in your car come from, niggas? You had to kill people from the Middle East and Africa to get that gas in your tank, Mr. Z said.
Yeah, that's Mr. Z, y'all.
I just want to see you win.
Rap is absurd. It is very absurd, but so is politics. But again, there you have it. You know, Donald Trump himself, he says, I don't care. I don't care, right? He says he don't. That's so funny saying. He said, I don't think about nothing Americans are going through. So yeah, that's why a lot of times, you know, with the whole Jay-Z thing, I mean, my only angle, like, you know, again, not talking about Mr. Z. Now we're officially talking about Jay-Z. The only thing I was saying is like, man, what's with all the crying? Now, you know, Memphis Bleak said what he said to let it be known. I'm just going to rip the Band-Aid off. And that's fair, you know. But also, again, the cooking will happen at the same time, you know.
And on that note, guys, we
I think we're done here.
We're done here for today, but we'll be back tomorrow again. Every time 8:15 p.m. Yeah. You're gonna have a morning show from us from Monday through Thursday. Again, 8:15 a.m.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Also, the link in the chat, you guys can subscribe to, at least link up to the free tier, and then as you get notifications, you can upgrade to whatever tier. If you want to hear us do our, you know, our live listening reviews, our exclusive podcasts, some exclusive animations too, by the way, that you guys should be looking forward to.
Yeah, we're gonna have some exclusive animations. They're gonna get done. They're gonna be there on the Patreon for y'all on a certain tier. So y'all make sure y'all check that out too.
All right. So we love you guys. Did y'all want to hear from Mr. Z one more time before we get up out of here?
It was fine. Let's do Mr. Z.
Y'all want to hear Mr. Z one more time? Because after that, we out of here, folks. I can't keep getting chastised anymore. No eyebrows in a bulletproof vest.
That Jay-Z was talking shit to all y'all in the chat.
Yeah.
And everybody who talked their talk on YouTube, on X. He getting at everybody.
Yo, shouts out to Warrior. I like the avatar. All right, Daffy Duck is the OG. Folks, we love you guys so much. We are up out of here. Mr. Z wants to speak to y'all one more time. Y'all take care. Peace.
Testing. 1, 2, 3. Is this mic on? Is this mic on? You got the right beat, but is it the right song? Niggas out there in the industry keep calling me back, but calling is cap. You want to walk around and just take photo ops, not giving interviews, acting like you the hardest? They trying to make me the target because they don't want to shop at Target. But look in the mirror and ask yourself, on an Indian graveyard, is that where you bought your home? But you the one that's still shopping at AutoZone. Even as a baby, many of you was hypocrites, begging for your mother's love. But think about the sins of your mother, because she was still using Dove. You dumb millennial niggas, all you want to do is point the finger at me. And all you doing is dropping zingers and tweets. Then you spread lies and talking about bringing up beef. You can never compare none to Young. And remember, J. Cole is just a homeless version of me. I'm like, hold it up. It doesn't matter who you holding up. Y'all better listen to Rosenberg. The big three is just me split into three. And I don't even need to flex. Let me keep it calm. Keep your bombs. And I don't even speak to flex. I was the one that stepped in the game. And gave you that hard knock shit. Or do you want me to spit the 10 commandments? I can get on that dot shit. I've been dropping hits like Drizzy, but I can still get on that thought shit. Or do you want me to keep it peaceful and say that we equal? I can get on that J. Cole dirty sock shit. There's no nigga past, present, or future that can outdo Hov. Hunchback old niggas acting like they outgrew Hov. I don't even know what you're talking about. All I can see is that your teeth keep falling out. Still roaming around with no slow security. Why you focus on me? MAGA has your social security. Anyway, just leaving it right there for a lot of you dumb niggas out there talking about who's this, who's that, what's next, but you're still on X. You're still typing data centers. Go ahead and hate us niggas. Bleak was right. I don't owe y'all niggas nothing. Like Pharrell said, I'm a fat bear on a bicycle with an army helmet. It's time for war. You're still using Amazon. Some of you all still have your lease that's signed on property where dead Indians lie. I mean, you know, it's just what it is in America. We're all hypocrites. None of y'all are greater than I. You gotta ask yourself, where's your water coming from? You gotta ask yourself, where was that phone made? You gotta ask yourself, where did that laptop come from? You can't judge me. It's like Pac said, only God can judge me. But he was a hypocrite too. But you love that. He fucked Madonna, and I hit it too. Y'all can keep hating all y'all want, niggas. What can I tell you? Oh yeah, by the way, cocksuckers, Michael Jackson still ain't have a Baychella. You niggas need to understand, I've been a God. Y'all hating. Even Rosenberg got back in line, and that's after I talked about the synagogue of Satan. So come on. The rest of y'all black niggas, get it together. I'm out.
Thought Rhymes. Thought Rhymes. Thought Rhymes. Thought Rhymes. Thought Rhymes. Thought Rhymes.
I saw the check, nigga. Huh?
Your $5 ass down before I make change.
Thought Rhymes.
And I sing because I'm free. His eye is on the sparrow. Oh my God, who's this? LB?
Thought Crimes.
and I see and I see
We are all the same. We are all the same. More group.
Coming through your airwaves. All right, now I'm here to kick the ballistics. Check out Thought Crimes. Are you following me? Coming through your airwaves. Coming through your airways. You ain't gonna get me with that one.